I was there for the end.
I have to load up my notes. 1 second. They're on their way. Yes. All right.
Let's do it like the rest of us.
There's a dude with glowing gold eyes, showing us around the place. We don't have a great relationship with it. Let me just go through this 1 second. Oh, there was a lady that had let's say we were investigating her because she might be an unregistered magic wielder.
The town was ready to run her out.
Yes, and so we were sent there because she had the dream screech, and we went there and there was crazy magic in her house, but she wasn't there, and she was writing this gibberish that Severus was able to decipher, and it was actually legible to Severus, but it was like this crazy masked code, but she didn't mean to write in it. And anyways, we followed her, and she led us to a cave, and she was like, "No, I'm not an unregistered magic caster. I don't know what's happening. This thing, I don't know, I've been writing, it's not made any sense. I can read it, but other people can't read it," or something like that. And then the party went aggressive, aggro AF. All right.
Party is not the right word.
Yeah.
He also started it.
No, I thought Rixion did, and then she rezzed. A couple other caveats to this as well is we weren't going to be, or Grenia wasn't going to do anything until Severus's thing was basically like, "Oh yeah, well we'll kill you because you're a registered spellcaster."
Yeah.
And that's whenever Grenia was like, "All right, well this is no more peace. It's not peaceful anymore." Also, I think she's flying right now, isn't she? Because I didn't walk into her, but I was close enough to her.
It's my turn. I can't see shit in this cloud. Yes, I didn't think it'd start on me, I'll be quite honest. Party, how are we feeling right now? How is everyone feeling as I load up my options here for this encounter?
Ill.
I've already ritual cast Commune with Nature before, but the casting time's a minute, which would be 10 rounds if I wanted to.
Yeah, you should do that.
Sounds like a great idea. Gives us plenty of time to murder her.
Based.
Yeah, I would just. Oh, I see Severus setting up a shot, then I'm going.
I'm just hiding here and waiting on whatever this shit is. But yeah, with my.
Okay, but I'm gonna run over and I'm going to, I don't know, grapple Severus or something. Like. Yeah, I'll block his line of sight. I'll stand right in front of him.
Wait, can she see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I used the hide action. I thought maybe because the cave is like really dark. Is it like illuminated? Is it illuminated now? Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah, because I did see her as an ally when I made it, so it's not like I was hiding from her.
With clearly a pleading in my eyes.
I'll look at her, and I'll go, fine. I put my bow on my back on my shoulder, and I just pull out a dagger, and I'll say, I'll try not to kill her.
You would have to bonk her on the head with like the blade of that.
Mechanically, you can non-lethally attack, right?
Only with bludgeoning.
Oh. Well, that wouldn't be. I guess
Why is it not an improvised weapon strike?
Would you someone allowed to make a melee attack with like a bow if they had their hands occupied for some reason? Okay.
I can't see shit, so I mean, do
I was
do
going
I
to move like a bit.
am I
over
able to
here.
hear anything in here to like get a gauge? Okay, and it's too small of an area to know if she's like to my left or right. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Oh. Where did I hit the wall?
Yeah, there was like a pillar she was originally hiding behind that you're about to run into.
Dex. Okay, 10, 15. Wait, how? Wait. Hold on. I started here. 5, 10. You said I hit the wall. 15. Oh, this is the wall. Oh, this is 3. Okay, okay. 15, 20. 25, 30. Nothing. Okay. Well, I'm gonna dash. 5. Okay. Okay. And I'll just stop here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that worked without vision though, because it's just a frighten. Which is running away, or it can't move closer
No,
to them.
it's
right?
it's like yeah.
Okay. Am I able to tell which direction she moves since I saw her feet before?
Yeah. Kulan moves to the top right, into the fog a little bit, and
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Do we have attacks of opportunity?
She actually disengaged.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay.
And you can tell her moving to the top right of the cave, so to your in front of you to the left.
Is it only
and-
broken line of sight because of the fog?
Yes.
Okay, I'm making sure.
I don't think she can do anything else. She kind of does need line of sight of people to do that. So yeah, that's the end of her turn. Grania.
If I targeted in the general direction she was flying, how do those attack rolls work? Is it just disadvantage?
It's disadvantage,
Is that a
yeah.
minus?
Yeah, it's just plain old disadvantage.
Check some.
Wouldn't
Would
if
it-
she's flying with fly or levitate, isn't that concentration just as the fog cloud?
Normally it would be if it were a conscious spell.
Ah, because she's like subconsciously using all of this. Okay.
Would the disadvantage offset because she's also an unseen attacker right now in this fog?
I would not say unseen attacker, but she is fairy fired, so it would be offset to be neutral.
But I'm saying Granny is unseen.
I don't think that would be how it works, because she also can't see her target. So being normally unseen is like where Severus was. You know, you're
I'm gonna
obscured, but
move
they're
to
in the open.
here. Does it seem like when she moves, she'd be like here or here? Like if she moved
Roll a
further
perception
up,
check, because there are some audible noises she's making. Yeah, her terrified cries are pretty easy to locate. She's in the same sort of row as you.
Okay, then I'm going to attack her with my sneak.
Okay, that is neutral, and that actually hits. As discussed before, she is just a normal peasant. All right, you hear a clonk noise, and she does have to make a concentration check for something else, not the fly. That is a pass. Alrighty, Renesmee.
Yes.
You hear, the sounds of armor scraping and Grania grunting, and I think that's it from inside the fog cloud. Oh, and then of course Kulanaga screaming in horror. What are you doing?
I will step forward just right here, and I will reach my hand into the fog cloud and say, Kulanaga, reach my hand and I will make sure we get out of this alive.
Okay.
Follow my voice.
Yeah, roll a persuasion check.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm not quite good at rolling. I'm not always the luckiest person. But let's see.
Yeah.
Luck is a skill.
True. All right. And Doda, to answer your
Not
question,
bad.
they're equally as rare to recover, so it's like arrows.
But isn't sling ammo just like pebbles?
Like ball bearings
Yeah, so it's
or
pretty
rocks.
easy for them to crack or be lost, just like arrows.
Yeah, I mean, but like just getting new ones.
Oh
is, like,
yeah, getting new
basically
ones is not
free.
hard. Yeah. All right, Renesmee, you make a call out into the fog, heartfelt, passionate. Kulanaga's response is not exactly clear because she's still frightened, so she is still basically
Yeah.
gibbering in horror in the corner.
She also can't move towards you, I think.
Yeah.
'Cause
She can't move
Grania's
closer
there.
to Grania, but she doesn't know where Grania is, so the feature doesn't.
Oh. Okay.
Severus.
I am technically blocking her skip though, because if she starts trying
Wait,
to move towards where she thinks the cave
the
entrance
frighten
is, she
should
has
be
5
over,
feet,
right?
She has to move away.
Why?
The frighten ends at the end of Grania's next turn, which she just took just before
okay,
Nesme.
interesting. I thought it was a normal frighten spell. Thank you for reminding me of that. Okay, that changes things. Okay, Severus, what do you want to do?
Realizing I'm probably not gonna do much with my dagger, I'll stow it back again. And I think I'll just move Eva here to the entrance of the cave to make sure she just can't walk out in
Sure.
confusion. And that's it.
Father Rixion, she sort of just barely moved out of your sight, so roll me just roll me a perception check to see if you could figure out what direction she went in, because for a moment there you fully saw her. Or if you want, you can just move forward and guess. Yeah, she moved to your top right.
Okay. So I move here.
Yep, to your right is the wall. To your north is Kulanaga. She is sort of like, she's clearly trying to like lower herself, like she has her eyes concentrated and like closed, but her feet are still about 6 feet off.
Okay. I'm gonna try and grapple her. I don't know if she's too high. You said her
6
feet
feet,
are
that's like
eye
level with
okay.
eye level, so very
Okay.
easy to grab.
Okay, that's athletics, right?
What exactly are you trying to do? Because if you're trying to bring her to the floor, she would not resist that, so it wouldn't really be contested.
Yeah, bring her down in like a controlled way, but also like have a hold of her still.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Not...
Then yes, that would be contested. All right. All right. Yeah. Strength check. I mean, you are giga strong. All right. Yeah. You grab Kulan Aga's feet and plant them on the floor. Her levitation spell is not stronger than you, and so she is very buoyant though. Like as you try to pull her down, she weighs, significantly more than you would expect. It takes a decent chunk of your strength to do that. And with that, it is Kulan Aga's turn. Now, Renesmee did do a persuasion check. You did punch her in the face, and Severus did try to murder her. But also,
Yes,
this
but I
wild
just
magic is
tried
not
to
going
knock
too
her.
well.
Granny
So
hit her with a rock.
She did do that, yeah. I think that Kulan will... Yeah, I think she's just as scared of her magic as she is of you, so she will lift concentration on the fog cloud, which makes the area go from heavily obscured to lightly obscured, because there is a secondary fog cloud she has no control over.
He doesn't have control of it.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
area is much easier to see in. You can see for basically like 15 feet now, but it is still obscured. And she will... I think we can probably end initiative, because she is not going to exactly resist Father Rixion guiding her out of the fall. So, Rixion, she'll roughly follow you at the moment. You can feel her basically shivering in fear. Where do you guide her to?
I actually don't 100% know where I am, so I'm probably going to follow this wall to my right, north, and then eventually come out here.
To your right, to the north. Yes, yeah.
So I'm gonna like go
emerge,
up
yeah.
this way.
Yeah, you emerge from the fog, and Kulan looks rough. She has the skin along her face has these strange sort of marks running through it, these like thin little lines, almost like she was made of clay. And her buoyancy has still not recovered. Like she's not levitating, but that's only because you're keeping her to the ground. And she is looking down at her hands, which have burn marks over them.
Are we out of initiative now?
Indeed, we are.
Then I would run over. Be like, are you okay?
She looks up, and I believe one of you speaks to Brash, and I just don't recall which one of you.
I think it's me and Renesmee. Or...
Renesmee.
Yeah. I speak
All right,
to
then
Russian.
she'll look up and say into Brashin, "No, that was awful. Why couldn't you have just left me alone?"
Because of that, the wild magic. It makes you not unsafe to others, but to yourself.
It only happens when...
You mean not only unsafe to others?
Yeah.
You used some flying dagger stuff on us
Sorry,
at
yeah.
the beginning.
It only happens when I have to cast spells. If I'm left to my own devices, it's not bad. I've been like this since I was a child. It never was a problem before.
Oh. Oh.
Are you sure? When did this writing stuff start?
Things like that just happen. You know, they last for a couple of weeks and then they just stop.
Why did you avoid registering?
You're judges, so maybe you wouldn't understand, but people where I'm from don't have the best view of the Empire.
That's alright.
Anybody translating this, or am I just listening
I
to
think
stuff
you're
I
just
don't
listening
understand?
to...
Grania is signing and telling you off for the statements you made right now.
Well, yeah, we'll cut to that in a second.
Well, I'm just not even caring about that for now.
Yeah.
We're glad that you're okay. Or alive. What to do?
What to
Perhaps
do?
you could just
Needs
forget
to
you ever saw
register.
this.
No.
It's not safe for you to not know how to wield your magic.
I'm 45 years old. I've never once killed anyone. Never hurt anyone except for myself.
That is true.
It's not, though. She just hit Severus with a cloud
Well,
of
are
daggers.
you bringing that up to Kulan? Because...
Yeah, I mean, I just saw you harm my comrade right there.
A man
We did
breaking
try
onto
to
my
attack her.
property, threatening to murder and torture me.
That is true. We can't
Hey, I
deny
never
it.
said I was gonna torture her. I said that if she doesn't register,
Unfortunately, you do not
that
speak to Brashen. You cannot hear
So
these
as you say it out
accusations.
loud, she looks at you confused.
Well, I probably won't say it out loud because I don't know that she just
yeah,
said that.
yeah. She'll just say, "I was just defending myself. There's nothing wrong with that."
I agree that you haven't caused harm up until now, but it is dangerous that if one day you were to have to defend yourself regularly,
Why do you
So
think
this
I live
is-
away from everyone else in the village? Why do you think I came to this little town far away from my homeland? I don't want to be involved in conflict. I don't want to be involved in drama. I don't want anything except for just to tend to my garden, live in my woods, hunt on my own. I don't use my spell casting in my hunting, even though it'd probably make it easier. I just want to be left alone.
is there any way here that the party members would just agree with her relocating?
We're not a part of the
It's gonna be a
conversation.
hard. It's gonna be a hard sell to get Rixion to not have her
Mhm.
register.
Yeah.
If Grania knew what she was saying, or
What
you can
does-
even relay this with Grania's situation, how she was in a similar spot not that long ago.
Oh, I will.
It might,
I'll translate via sign what she's saying to the rest of the party if they understand it.
Yeah, I believe Severus and you and Grania are the three people who understand Imperial Sign Language.
I ask Harkin, what does registering actually entail? That'll help.
Yeah,
me
so she would
understand.
go to the Department of Magic. They would, for someone like her, they would teach her how to control her magic in a way that wouldn't be a threat to others. And she is an incredibly potent natural spellcaster, so she'd probably be pretty high level if she were actually trained properly. And then she would be given between 3 to 10 years of mandatory Imperial service. And then she would be scot-free. And if she wanted to remain in the Department of Magic, she could, but after that, she no longer has an obligation.
The service, it's like being conscripted.
Yeah, but
And
for
would
her,
it be,
because
like,
she knowingly avoided
In
being-
battle, or would it be something off to the side? Like, I guess it depends on what kind of magic she has, right? Like, if
Yeah.
it's offensive, they would put her on offense. If it's like
Yeah,
healing,
in general, they do what is, to the best according to their abilities to, they assign them that way. But at the current moment, she would go to the plains. That's where every spellcaster goes.
besides
you-
us.
Yeah.
If somebody is found out to be a spellcaster and they refuse to register, what usually happens to them?
If they refuse to register, they are killed. And if they
They're just killed?
intentionally, and if they intentionally avoid registering for years on end, which she says she's 45 and has known it since she was a young woman, the default punishment for that would be, killing her, because she's a danger to everyone. But as a
Okay, so
reminder,
you can't like harvest somebody for their magic.
no. But as a reminder, you guys are Imperial judges. The law is more of a guideline for you. You've flaunted it many times, and you have a lot of leeway to ignore it. So it's up to you. But at this point, just to be clear in terms of who knows what, Renesmee did translate the whole conversation via sign language, so all four of you
Yes.
are now on the same page.
Can I ask her to go to sit at the edge of the cave while we just talk it out? Because I don't want her to be privy to this.
Well, she should be sitting on the edge, not at the entrance.
Yes.
Yeah, she'll suspiciously
Deeper.
eye you, but she will walk towards the back of the cave and sit down near the grotto. She sort of positions herself where she can see the four of you, and she has her hunting bow resting beside her.
I will wait for the party to give their input, and if nobody does, then I will speak.
I think she should register. It's her duty. We
Yeah.
can forge. We can say that she just found out with this dream. She doesn't need to die for avoiding it. But I think she owes it to the Empire to register.
I agree. No matter what her issues with the Empire are, I think we can probably waive the whole, just killing her because she refused to register. But we should make her register for sure, because even if she says she's going to be safe and she will never use her magic, and even if we 100% knew that she would actually try that, what if one day she slips, falls off a cliff, and because she's in a high stress, high adrenaline situation, she accidentally triggers her magic and sets a whole forest on fire?
Yeah.
Is
That's a
is
real risk, and I don't think we
possession
can
a
leave her
thing
just
that could
out here.
happen?
Is possession a thing that can happen? Absolutely.
Okay, I feel like she would be at risk of that as well.
Demon possession only ever happens with bodies that have been specifically prepared for it. So
Oh,
typically
okay.
like cultists.
It's
and
not
things
like
Renesmee
she's
would
in
know.
tune with wacky magic. And
I'm
then
not
gets possessed by
possessed.
it.
Well, actually, all
No,
three
you,
of you.
you just
Grania,
prepared some bodies for demons.
No, Grania, Renesmee, and
that's true.
Severus, all three of you actually saw a demon corpse when you were approaching the hilltop where the Raven Tyrant ritual was going on. There was a undead corpse that had glowing eyes that approached you. That was a good example of a demon-possessed corpse. Yeah.
But it's not like the Exorcist where a demon just possesses a living person.
No, ghosts can do that, but they don't concentrate on just
Ghosts,
spellcasters.
okay.
It just affects all people.
Right. It could be anybody. Okay.
What
Is
if?
there any way to like scan for spellcasters magically?
No.
Like, let's say out there that let's say the Necromortis wanted to get more spellcasters into their ranks by just reviving them and under their servitude. Could they like find people that have the abilities? by
No,
scanning for
there
them
are
somehow?
entire, branches of the Department of Magic. There are Blood Hunter orders. Basically, every organization on the planet would love it if they could just do that. But there's two ways to do it. One of which is go to the Realm of Souls, because most spellcasters have a noticeable aura when looking at the Realm of Souls, but that's really hard. And then the second thing is that some spellcasters don't develop magic until mid or late life, and when they're younger, that magical potential is not visible at all. So no. It would be really hard for anyone to know she was a spellcaster unless they had access to the ability to shift planes.
For a more traditional spellcaster, you could do like locate object on a spellbook or some shit, but stuff like this wouldn't work.
Yeah, she doesn't even have even her focus is just a sprig of, I believe it was mistletoe. So
I think that I agree. She needs to register. It is too unsafe otherwise. I think that the hardest thing is if we tell her she needs to register, and the future for her is 10 years of conscription to the army. She will not do it. She would rather die.
Are we
I
able
would
as
assume.
judges to reduce that conscription?
Or maybe to change it, like to get her to work as something else, like defend a local something.
Rennie will sign saying that we could reach out to Pacentia.
I was just about to say that you guys could use your limited reputation in the Department of Magic to do it, but the Department of Faith has no direct authority over that.
What about? Do I know any way of how you could
could
maybe
give her to
recruit
Tullius.
somebody into the Frumentari?
Yes, you've never recruited anyone, but there are people who you've met that when you were doing work with Tullius that you always suspected were members of the Frumentari, so, talking to Tullius would be your best way. Also notable, you're not a registered spellcaster, and you can cast magic, and that's because you're a member of the Frumentari and Imperial Judge, so it's viewed as beneath you to have to register.
But that still entails like a 10-year conscription.
Well, the Frumentari is really complicated. It's not really like,
Okay.
it's not
I
quite
remember
that formalized.
Zed had 10 years.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I'm just wondering is it possible to somehow be like a Frumentari informant or helper without actually being part of them, so she could like basically live her life on as herself.
If she was doing a job that was important, like if she was willing to give up everything and go work in like the court of a governor or something, then yes. But in her current position, no. She's just a random woman in a village. She has no useful information.
But she's powerful at spellcasting. Could she like maybe they could teach her to scry and then scry for them, stuff like that?
Potentially, however, you were not taught magic by Tullius. He is not magical. You were given a tutor from the Department of Magic, so the Frumentari isn't really in the business of training spellcasters. Even they hand that off to the Department of Magic.
What if, well, here's what I'm thinking is like her unique skill of the like magical encryption.
Yeah, that's
Which,
why I was
if
thinking.
that was able to be trained, but that's incredibly valuable to the Frumentari, and if she just trades
if
her magic
she did
for
that
that,
intentionally,
then
then yes, that would be massive, yeah.
Well, it seems like it happens no matter what, so whether or not it's intentional or not, she'd always have to do it, and then it'd be useful.
Yeah, if she can recreate that for a long period, yeah, she'd be a huge asset to the Frumentari.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Make her like a. Basically, her side job is just she has to like encrypt letters and then send them back to the Frumentari.
How would you sell that to her, to someone that wants to live out their own lives hunting and staying away from civilization?
Well, it's better than the option of being conscripted and probably dying on the battlefield.
Uh-huh.
I feel like we have to just like show her the reality of her situation.
Do we want a good cop, bad cop this in front of her? Like someone comes in saying, listen, this is the options. Maybe Father Rixion, because he looks real scary. And
Or
then
maybe
one of
me,
us-
because I almost killed her.
yeah. Or you. And then I will bicker with you and say, but another option is, and you go, no, there's no way that option will work. And we go, but if she was willing, and then she goes, hopefully, yes, I'm willing.
That's gonna be a. Is that a performance check? I feel like that's a.
There would be some
I
I
checks
don't speak
related.
to Brashen.
That is a major.
Oh, then it would have to be me.
she
and
does
you,
speak
but
Mythosian, to
okay.
be clear. It's just very bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we would be kind of genuine. Like, that is the options ahead
Yeah.
of her.
What about Granny said something about Placentia?
She'll sign back. Placentia was the one who helped me, and I didn't have to go through the conscription.
Do you know
Besides-
how to reach her?
This, right? Or unless you chose to be a
No,
judge.
she chose to be a judge.
But even before that, I wasn't being conscripted.
How
Correct.
do you even
So it was
choose to be a
Placentia
judge?
We'll get to that later. In the moment.
I mean, Granny probably knows where Placentia was last,
Yeah.
where she'd last worked with her.
What does that entail? Like, I don't speak sign, so someone has to translate. What does potential
I am.
even entail? What does that even mean for any of us? She's a woman that helped you.
She's
Yeah,
a
we know
person that
she's-
took me in from the clan of Fabricia. She's a praetor who took me in as a spellcaster.
And you were unregistered before?
And I don't know if I'm technically registered now, but
Yes.
yeah.
And
And what did she have you doing?
Granny will sign back, just helping her out. A lot of it was dealing with other unregistered spellcasters as well.
Maybe let's see
Right.
that out.
That's actually like a great idea. We could like pitch the whole thing as helping people who are in her situation.
Actually, yeah.
I mean, I think we opened by saying, like, you don't have to blah, 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 look at these two weirdos.
Yeah. Go
All
off
right,
with
I'll let you do that, Renesmee, because she's scared of me probably a little.
Neither doesn't speak to Brashen, though, so it'll be Mythosian.
I'll go with Graniam, because she can sign to me if she wants to say something, and I'll sign the translation of what the other girl is saying.
Yeah, Father Rixion and Severus, you remain near the entrance. Rixion, you sort of dust the blood, or remove the blood from one of your gauntlets and sort of wipe it off against a rock. The fog here is slowly starting to dissipate. And Grania and Renesmee, the two of you walk over. You walk past the bloodied arrow on the ground, left from where Severus shot her in the neck. And you head over to the grotto at the back of the cave. She's like, there's the water, and then there's like this slight stone lip around the grotto, and she's on the far side of the grotto on that little stone lip, just like seated. And she looks like she's like half ready to bolt, but obviously there's not anywhere to run other than through the four of you.
I will, do I have any, like, weapons that are visibly showing on me?
I think you're.
Or just your quarterstaff, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
I'll take off my quarterstaff and I'll place it, like, I'll, like, fucking kick it way behind me.
Sure.
And then I will sit, near her so that she knows I'm not gonna quickly run or attack her or some shit. I'll motion for, Grania to do the same, to sit.
Granny will plop herself down next to her.
I'm so sorry that your day has gone like this. I will inform you of the procedure from here. Please just do let me finish my speaking. Nothing will be happening drastically right now. And I will explain to her that the typical procedure from here on out is that she does register. And that following registration, there will be a period of God knows how long, however long I know that she would have to spend to wield her magic, to learn that, which probably doesn't sound bad to her, at least not drastically horrible. But then I'll explain that after that, the process is 5 to 10 or 10 to 15 years of
It's
conscription?
3 to 10.
Between 3 to 10 years of conscription. But that is required of everyone. Also, failing to acknowledge that she was a spellcaster is by law a death sentence. However, we have various people among us, including Grania here, and I'll place a hand on her shoulder, that empathize with her and were in that kind of situation not too long ago. And so we suggest the following: that we do not tell the department that she has known about these powers since her childhood, but rather that she just discovered them at the dream, so that she will not be sentenced to death. She will still have to register and learn how to wield her magic, but instead of that conscription, we can reach out to a lady that helped Grania. Her name is Peachachoo, and Peachachoo can help her regardless. She was Grania's mentor, and she can continue to mentor her. And I'll just explain the whole situation, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you went through it pretty thoroughly. As you're talking, you know, her tense posture where she's like sort of crouched and ready to jump slowly starts to slacken. Her face, you know, goes from one of like pretty fiery resistance to one of like deep despair. Her shoulders slump. She sort of like fully sits down. And, you know, she's been running for the majority of her life from this exact thing. You don't know the exact circumstances of why she fled her village on the plains, but she went quite some distance, 700 miles from the plains, and yet still had managed to find her on a really off chance. No one ever saw her casting magic, and yet that one dream sort of ruined it all. So she's known this was coming for a long time. She doesn't say anything. Even once you're done speaking, she just sort of like looks with resignation, and she'll sort of slide her hunting bow and her quiver of arrows over to you.
I'll slide them away, just as I did with my quarterstaff, and I'll ask her what she prefers, I suppose. If she would like. Grania speaks extremely highly of her mentor, who took her in before she knew how to wield magic, and she taught her how to harness it. And what Grania helped her do after she learned how to wield her magic was she went out to find other people who had this wild magic, let's say, and help them. That is entirely what she did with her whole life up
raises
until
her
now.
hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Whatever it is, it will all be in service of your empire. One crime or another, it doesn't matter.
Was Peachachoo a part of the Empire?
Yeah.
I will nod and say, I'm very sorry that it had to come to this.
She just shrugs.
Oh. I think that you will make a great difference. Once you learn how to wield your own magic. You have potential to help others as well.
I have seen what that potential is turned into. Servants of the Empire are butchers and monsters. What they did to my home when I was a young girl is unconscionable, but I am selfish and I wish to live, so I will deliver that pain onto others.
You will not go into war. You will not be conscripted.
No.
That is what we are trying to avoid.
I will do something even more cowardly. I will recruit more spellcasters, who they themselves will be serving on the front lines, burning villages, killing new mothers.
Grania, is that what you did? You recruited other spellcasters.
She'll sign back. She mostly dealt with spellcasters who were not following the rules or were unregistered.
That isn't what Grania did. She didn't find people to conscript. She helped people that didn't know how to wield their magic.
The woman looks at you, but says nothing. Yeah. To her, those are the same, but either way, she'll just,
Alas, yeah.
sort of stand
Well,
up and say,
She's abiding now.
so. Where to?
Well, I suppose. Where to? That's a good question, Hargon. What the fuck do we do from here? What's the
Granny
typical?
will assign if she wants to take anything with her, she'll grab that.
You guys are just in
yeah.
a random cave that she sometimes stops in while hunting. There's not much stuff here.
I think
Well,
Granny
not
means
here, but
returning
at
to
a
her
time.
house. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if she had anything stored in the forest as like a little settling area.
I'll explain that to her. If she'd like to take anything before we find Pacentia for her.
Yeah. The fog has basically fully faded from the cave by now. And Father Rixion, you notice that spot she was originally standing on, in fact, most of the spots she was standing on where she casted spells, the stone there has the same sort of like partially cracked porcelain appearance of her skin. You've seen
Is it going away on her skin at all, or is it
Yeah,
still?
the injuries on her have almost entirely faded, even her burned hands, meaning it's not actually burning, probably. It's probably some sort of illusion or very superficial damage. But the stone, those cracks of lines running through the stone are still there. So, Kulan will gather the bedroll she had laid out and head out to the entrance. It's still raining outside, as was. And the four of you, I guess, can reunite near the entrance. She's obviously a lot more chill now, but that's because, she probably would have died, in the sense that she did die once, only through sheer luck is she's still alive at the moment. So, what now?
Does she want to return to her home to grab anything?
If possible, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say let's get her home.
Where are we planning on taking her? Or what are we
That's-
doing?
In my opinion, I'm leaving that
will
up
have
to
to
Grania.
We'll let her off to Pacentia, but until we get that back, Granny wouldn't know the specifics, but out of character, probably someplace to hold her until for the time being.
Yeah.
I mean, Taroko is probably great, because, we can probably just bring her along to Taroko, right? Because we have a contact there that can probably help know
Is
where we can keep
that
her.
is that Telius?
I thought maybe Zednius.
Oh, yeah.
He does
Maybe
live
we
near
should-
Tarako.
maybe- Maybe we can ask him if she can stay at his house for a bit.
Yeah, valid.
All right. You guys begin the descent of the mountainside. The path up here was pretty slow, especially because of the whole cliff incident. And the path down will take a bit longer because now it's all muddy. And you guys slowly begin to descend. She has a pretty sorrowful expression on her face, but it's not really, I doubt Father Ixion's going to be losing much sleep over that. And roll me an Arcana check, Father Ixion.
Okay.
This mostly
Not
has to
good
do
at
with your
that.
age. Then, never
not good
mind.
at that.
Basically,
Oh, heart attack.
I think the short version is, with the 5, basically, you've encountered a couple of unregistered spellcasters in the past, even a couple of spellcasters who still had a very wild component to their magic, and hers was scarily potent. The fact that 2 effects was happening every time she cast a spell, the fact that something happened every time she cast a spell, I think it's just something to be concerned about, because you guys got pretty lucky. Nothing super bad happened, but there are horror stories of what happened when unregistered
Well,
spellcasters
she's getting.
are cornered.
I think that it's okay because she's getting put into the system somewhere, some way or another. People are going to know that she
Yeah,
exists.
and you
has
trust the
magic.
Mythosian system.
Yes.
Can I retrieve my
Based.
arrow?
Yeah, D2. Same for Grania.
I was just checking if, because I did
Oh
put it
no,
in
you're
her
right.
face.
Yours would have been fully intact because it hit her in the jugular, and then it sort of was pushed out onto the cavern floor, so you can just get your arrow back. Yeah, still coated in her blood.
One
Yeah,
of
you
them
guys, and yours is unfortunately lost, Grania.
Are those
It's the rock.
mithril rocks or
No.
what are
No.
they? That you're
They're
just regular?
They're just listed as sling bullets.
Okay.
That's funny.
That'd be based as
That
fuck.
would be based. You guys make your way down the slope, head to her cabin. She recovers some food from the larder. She gets a sort of actual proper winter cloak. She basically spends, a solid 30 minutes packing up what little she had, because she didn't have much to begin with, and sort of putting it all up on her a backpack that she wears behind her. She's a woman very, accustomed to traveling in the road and things like that. And it's later in the day, but not that late, because you guys set out looking for her around, I believe it was noon or something like that. So it's like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Where to now? Do we want to remain another day in the city, or this village? Or do we want to head to a major town?
Well, we have to try and send a letter up to Sencha. So, could we do that from here? The letter, at least?
There's no courier service here in, I believe this town is called, Solmona. There is no courier service here in Solmona. You could give it to the Quaestor, and the Quaestor could pay for it to be delivered, because that's how all those Quaestor letters got across the Empire, but, it would go much quicker if you were in a major city like Parla or Tarako.
You can always just wait to send it to Toronto.
Yeah, we could just go to Taraka then.
Don't we need to go to Parla first to tell the governor we've done the thing?
If we do, then we could do that. Then we could stop there, send the letter, and then head off to Toronto.
What order of operations do we want to do?
Tell the governor we could send a letter back.
That
saying
is what
it's
you
the
did for Ravinium, if I recall correctly. You just sent, and Flamium as well, maybe? I just remember in a couple of provinces you've sent letters, so that is
Well, how long is
legit.
the trip from here to Parla?
There to Parla is the rest of the day, like a couple hours.
Just a
Probably not a
couple
bad
hours
idea
fine.
to rest up, because we're going to be taking a big trip to Toronto. And if we
Alright.
send the letter in Parla, then by the time we get to Toronto, we may already have a response.
Yeah, you guys have 4 horses. Who will Kulan be riding with?
Whoever she feels most comfortable with. Granny around.
Grania, because she is much bigger than her.
Yeah.
And the 4 of you will begin to ride southward. Grania, as this, you guys take this 3-4 hour journey, you're actually finally feeling a little bit better about horseback riding. You had literally done almost none of it in your entire life before the Whispers of the Raven King, but now you've been doing it for months. I believe you're like 5 months into riding horses, so no longer are you like instantly sore. You're probably more of a proficient rider than any other members of the Department of Magic, or most of them anyways. And you don't have land vehicles proficiency, but at least you're comfortable on horseback, more so than you were before. And riding through the downpour slowly, the city of Parla comes into view. A very resplendent city with its fancy new mithril dome at the center. You had your whole little tour here last time. And heading into the city, do you want to head to that very high-class inn that was being paid for by the governor, or would you like to head to the governor's palace?
Oh, I think we should at least. I was gonna say I stay back with her because I don't think we should be. I don't think she should be seen entering the city.
Okay, interesting.
Take her to the inn, have someone or multiple people wait with her, and then the other people go to inform the governor. And then we'll rest here for the night until we head out in the morning.
So you
if
want
she's
like
most comfortable with Grania, then Grania can stay with her. As
Probably
well
better
as
to have
maybe
me,
someone
Granny, and
else.
someone else. Yeah, Granny and Severus at some point.
So Grania and Severus in the inn, in the city that you guys are staying at, and then the other 2 go to speak to the governor.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and low class inn.
Oh, so you're going to a shadier one.
It's just a normal one. Anything is shadier when comparing it to.
Yeah,
the
to your
fucking
very
one
fancy
gold a
one. Yeah.
night.
Okay, yeah, Severus and Grania, you 2 ride into the city. Severus mostly guides you, because just after being in the city for a night, he's gotten a pretty good vibe of what parts of the city can be trusted. So you go to a middling level place, a place for merchants and travelers and, couriers who are not on any particular job. And you guys don't need to rent a room at this point. You're just going into a booth in the corner, having your horses tied up outside, and just waiting. Keeping a very close eye on Kulan, because doing a spell in the middle of the woods with a random effect is one thing. Doing it in a city could kill like 100 people in an instant, depending on which random effect you get. So, Severus, you're keeping a very close eye on him.
Yep.
And Renesmee and Father Rixion, the two of you ride up to the governor's palace. As we discussed before, it's not that fancy, not some true palace, more of an administrative complex. You guys head to the entryway. The clerk is, of course, familiar with you. You were here like 2-3 days ago. And she will inform you, the governor is busy for the rest of the evening, but his head scribe would be more than happy to meet with you.
Ah, I would look to.
What are we trying to talk to them about? Sorry.
I think we're basically telling them
forgot.
that we did the job. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, that we have them and they're gonna go register. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Aren't we in Parla?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that the job was like for a small town.
It was, but the governor
Okay.
sent us to that small town.
Ah, got it. I forgot about that. Cool. Yeah, we'll let him know that it's been dealt with. Or should we send him a letter too? I'm just worried.
We're already here in Parla.
You're here in
Yeah.
the city of Parla, where the governor gave
And
you
we're
the
about
order.
to talk to his Dami mommy.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, you could always tell him in the morning before we leave if he's available then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, yeah, if you guys want a meeting,
we'll wait.
that can be ordered. Yeah, you guys can go meet with his head scribe. Father Rixion said Dami Mommy, more accurate would be that she deals with the daily administration of the city, but, same difference. And you guys make your way through a sort of labyrinth of corridors to an office. This one is very clean and proper. It is the governor's office, but the governor's not here. Instead, the head scribe is sort of sitting on the front side of the desk, like not behind the desk, but in front of it, writing something. And as you two enter, there's 2 guards waiting outside, and she looks up and says, "So the unregistered spellcaster has been dealt with then?"
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes, she's been dealt with.
Is she dead?
No, she is going to be registering herself, going through the training, and etc.
All right. Well, I'll make sure to pass along that to the governor.
Perfect. We just wanted to tell you in person. And say
Well.
our goodbyes, of course.
Of course. Well, thank you for doing it in person, and I hear that you're going to... Well, you'd be going to Tarako next, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well then, I hope you enjoy the city.
Thank you very much, Governor.
That's the head scribe. Unless
Thank
you
you
meant
very
to do
much.
that.
No, it
Head
is the head
scribe.
scribe.
Sorry, I meant head scribe.
Yeah, she's pretty dismissive. She goes back to working on what she was doing, and the two of you can exit without much fanfare. You can return to the inn that Severus told you he would be at. It's a pretty tense vibe. Just Hulan on one side of the booth, Grania and Severus on the other side. While those other two were gone, Grania and Severus, is there anything you wanted to talk about?
Granny will try to kick Severus in the shin and start furiously siding to him about things that he said earlier, that it would have gone a lot smoother if he hadn't threatened her or said she was gonna get killed.
I'll try to clear it up that I wasn't trying to threaten her with violence, but more telling her that that's how the law works, and that basically resisting and attacking us is going to just like make everything worse.
She'll sign back that she was pretty persistent, so probably something you should have said after we had her in custody.
Yeah, I'm not very good with people all the time. I usually, shoot them in the face.
Granny will take that as a half apology, be happy with it.
The two of you remain quiet in the booth until Renesmee and Father Rixion return. You guys are clearly Imperial judges. It's sort of like, when you two cops roll up to a diner with a suspect just sort of sitting there. And now there's 4 of you, so the innkeeper will not be charging you guys for your rooms tonight. And they will not ask any questions about who the person in custody is. Make sure to lavish you with drinks and food as well. So unless there's anything else you guys wanted to do here in Parla, we can probably skip to the next day.
Yes.
Okay.
This woman is not staying in her own room. She'll be sharing a room with somebody, and
Yeah, I'm happy to
she'll
share it
be-
with her.
And I want somebody to watch her 24/7. I don't want her to sneak out at night and never come back.
Well, if she
Who
does
do you
that,
want to
she'll
watch her
definitely
24/7?
get
Because
the
that
red
person
delete.
will not be getting sleep.
Well, we can
We
take
could have a
shifts, right?
rotating shift between either me and Renesmee, or if we want Renesmee,
You could ask
just
Granny,
be
his
in the
little
same room and
friend,
then
to do it.
you
Yeah.
know about that.
If
We're
you guys
in a room
want,
with
you
our-
can just put all of you in a room. You don't have to get separate rooms at all. Like they have just.
Oh yeah, I
you know,
guess.
you can be with
I
the
want a
general
room with
people.
no window. Is that possible?
None of the windows are openable, so from that perspective, all of them would work.
Are they big enough to smash and jump out of?
Yes, all of them are.
Okay. Well,
There
I guess
are,
we'll have to live with
city
that.
ordinances about not putting people in like dark rooms with no windows, and so if there's a fire, they almost guarantee die. But yeah, you guys can get yourselves in like the general admissions room, which is just a bunch of beds stacked in a row. There's no like partitions or anything like that, and you can put Kulan in between the
Also-
4 of your beds.
If it's not too late, can we ship that letter tonight, or at least start the process to get it sent?
Yeah,
Or do we
you
need to
could
do that in the
fully
morning?
send it.
Okay.
Frania is proficient in writing Common and Mythosian, so yeah, just write whatever you want to send her and DM it to me.
Okay.
It will cost you 1 silver. Big bucks. You're sending it to Nasius, right? The last place you knew where she was?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty then. Yeah, well, you guys get some sleep. It's not fruitful sleep, like especially for Severus, you're constantly waking up and glancing over. It's a very alien experience for you, sleeping next to like a suspect. You're so used to just assassinating people and then just leaving. Like, I don't think you've... Do you think Severus has ever done anything like this before, transporting a prisoner?
Probably transported the prisoner at some point, like a short term, but I don't think I've ever let them, be not in shackles.
Yeah. Yeah, just sort of vibing with all of her shit as well. Okay, yeah. It's a rainy evening. Eventually you do get some sleep. Kulan Aga, either, whether your strategy psyched her out or she never had any intention of fleeing in the first place, she doesn't sneak away during the night. And the following morning, you can get some bags of feed for your horses, treat the things well. And let's go to the world map. This is much too fancy for what I wanted. So, where to? We are currently in the city of
That's the wrong
Parla,
roll
of
for this
course.
one. Let's be this. Head it
On
backwards.
the wrong hemisphere.
Yeah.
Now we are going to Toroko.
Yeah. Sounds good. There is 2 major crossings of these rivers, which are the Loricon, the Falori rivers. There is one... I'm just going to draw a little red circle.
Is the Scythe and Wheat like just a major farm or something?
Yeah, it's a major city. Yeah, farming settlement. There's a bridge here, and then there are several smaller bridges down in the deltas. But I'm imagining we have no reason to go there.
There's
just
no
wanna take-
crossings on the western.
Correct. The flood waters are too intense. Any bridges built there will be completely swept away by the river.
Okay.
All right, then we can do one of these guys. That'll take us, if we want to ride really hard, basically the entire day. We can get there in 1 day, or we could take 2 leisurely days.
If we get
Regular
there in 1 day, does it make
plains
a
of
difference?
Cisalia is probably fine, right?
It's just rolling countryside as far as the eye can see. It's one of the major agricultural provinces.
Yeah, but there's not going to be monsters most likely coming down from the mountains.
There, yeah,
Out that far.
No. So far, the only time any monsters have been reported are in the foothills of the Atlian Mountains, which, as you can see, are in Sedalia, Reginova, and Transatlia. None of them are located in Cisalia.
All right. I'm not down for riding super hard the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got weak bones.
Indeed you do. How's your con score doing?
It's only down a little bit. I don't know. Let me look. It's down 3. I
Okay.
think.
So yeah, you're a bit weary, trying to rebuild your strength rather than losing it. So yeah, you guys
Yeah.
can take the first day is 8 hours of traveling across Isatlia. Kulan Aga is riding with you, or are you trying to leave her in Parla?
She's riding with us.
She's riding
Okay.
with us. I
She's
think.
riding on the back of
Because
Grania's horse.
Severus was like, we can give her to some guy he knows.
Well, Granny has said that. But... Oh, I see what you mean. No, yeah. Yeah. You guys ride across a bridge, and you continue northward. You spend an evening resting to the good graces of the common people. You know, you just roll up into a village and you ask, hey, is there a place we could stay? And you will be offered someone's home to stay in. This here is one of the major bread baskets of the Mithdosian Empire. You know, we talk about Sedalia, which is their literal logo, is a wheat crop, because it's basically all the province does. In that same respect, that is basically Cisatlia's whole thing: agricultural production, wealth, crafting, things like that. And so you just go past field after field after field. And unlike in Mithasia, most fields here are not plantations. They're not like, they're not slaves working here. Instead, they are, crop sharing farms, or like a bunch of farmers' individual crops. So it's a bit less depressing than riding through the capital province, because that one is just filled with plantations as far as the eye can see. But eventually, on the second day of travel, the walled city of Tarako comes into view. This city has a bit of a reputation because once, a long time ago, sort of like Ravinium, this was its own cultural capital. It was not Mithdosian. It's the head of a kingdom in its own right a very long time ago. Now, though, it's just seen as like a little rebellious, stepson of the imperial provinces. And every time some new organization starts to threaten the empire, everyone looks at Cisatlia, because most of the time Cisatlia joins the rebels. 80 years ago, they joined the rebels in the Light Wars, and before that, they joined the Republic fighting the First Emperor. Lots of rebellion in this province's history. And the city kind of reflects that, because it doesn't have any walls. The walls of Tarako are symbolic. They're like really small, like 10-foot tall walls, and in many places only 5 feet tall, because they're not actually meant to repel a siege. And it's a pretty warm May day. There's a bit of wind coming off the Galantian Sea as you guys begin to approach the city. So, we got a couple things it sounds like we want to do here in Tarako. What's first?
We're here because perhaps she can stay with Severus. So
Zednius.
Sorry, Zednius.
Yeah.
So I don't know my way to Zednius' estate, but I think Severus does.
Indeed he does, yeah.
Well,
he's been there once
we've
before.
been to-
You've been there because
You've been there with me.
checked on him after he got revived.
Oh yeah, I forgot
we
Renesmee
were
was
there together, Renesmee.
Yeah, I knew Severus went. I forgot that Renesmee was there.
Well,
Yeah, I
nonetheless.
told her I was going, and then she came.
I see.
Yeah, I did. We should make our way over to Zednius' estate and see if he's willing to
Yeah.
watch. I guess we could also we could check if we have mail and send more mail.
You could do those things, yeah.
Barty?
Check on our mail.
Like we might
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you guys
That'll
can
take
head
less
to
time.
you head to a courier's depot within the sort of sprawling suburbs of the city. Within, you can, give your identification and let them know that you sent out a letter yesterday. The courier office informs you that only 1 day, 2 days has passed, so the letter is probably not even at Gnostius yet. You should expect a response in about 3 or 4 days.
Sorry, I'm adding up from this list. I forgot we're not in the same spot. Okay. My letter that I typed out is sent to you.
Alrighty, thank you very much. So yeah, you guys will get a response from Essentia. If she's in Gnostius, you'll get a response in 3 to 4 days.
Business days or?
Normal days. Mithdosica doesn't have weekends like that.
In the meantime, do we want to go, or do we?
I think
already
we
meet
should
with
get
Zednius,
rid
or
of this. We should get rid of this woman as quickly as possible.
As in we're potting her off on Zednius, eh?
Yeah, we can have our little band. You guys also know Maximus is somewhere in the city, supposedly. But it sounds like we want to go to speak to Zednius first.
Oh, if we know Max is here, we should probably get him first.
Okay. Well, I know where Maximus is, and I think Ethan does as well, because we talked a bit about what Maximus would be doing. So where would you guys go in search of him?
Probably some fancy bar
Okay,
where
interesting.
he can show off all his money and mithril and all this fancy stuff he has.
Well, Ethan, you there?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
So based on what we talked about of what Maximus is up to, my thought is that he's triggered as fuck about, the things that happened, and he's probably
yeah,
drinking-
very much so.
Okay, so he is at a fancy bar, but it's not to show off. It's because he's fucking furious, and he wants...
No, it's because he wants to get fucking inebriated.
Based. Okay, so the four of you head into the city, and Severus, with his sort of natural acumen for the layouts of cities and things like that, will quickly locate the wealthier district of the city. And you guys just ride around different bars until you spot Mickey outside of one of them in its plate armor. And you can tie up your horses. Who's staying outside with Kulan?
Again, whoever she wants, I can stay with her.
Okay. So, Grania, Severus, and Father Rixion, the three of you, dismount, and you head inside. And, it's a pretty low business bar. It's like, you guys left, you had 10 miles to travel, so you traveled that in like 2 hours. So it's like 9 in the morning, or 10 in the morning. So this bar is pretty empty. There's a couple people that look to be discussing business. They're not drinking, they're just sort of eating food. Ethan, what does Maximus look like at the moment? Where is he seated? What's his general demeanor?
Yeah, he's seated over in a corner booth. There are several empty glasses around him, and he just looks angry and very drunk and very what's the belligerent. There it is. Like he's basically looking around, looking for someone to say something to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we see him. Let's walk up.
Sure. Father Rixion, you walk on over.
Oh.
Maximus.
Hello.
Figured we'd find you here.
Oh, did you now? Glad you can always know where to find me.
What time is it? Is it
10
like
a.m.
morning and he's already hammered?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. One day on your own and you're drinking at 9 a.m. now?
Oh, is that? Oh. You can basically smell him at this point. It's
Have you
obvious
been
he's
out
here.
all...
It's obvious he's been here the entire night. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Well,
that'll
what
do
happens.
us no good.
That's what happens when the empire that you've dedicated so many years of your life to just leaves you in the dirt.
The dirt. I look him up and down, and I'm guessing he's still wearing, like, swagged out, all kinds of shit.
Who the fuck drinks in their plate armor? What is wrong with you?
You probably have, like, some
To be
regal
fair,
clothes
yeah.
with, like, royal purple trim on. I don't know, man.
I
Unfortunately,
guess
yeah.
I have some nicer clothes, sure.
Yeah.
But like,
They're nicer travel clothes. I don't think he has proper fine clothes.
You have the
No,
Valros
I-
equivalent of a Rolex on, you know.
I don't think he has a Rolex.
unlikely.
It's ripped out.
So what happened?
They're putting my senatorship on hold.
Why is that?
I guess 17 years and an entire knee of service isn't enough for them. I want to fully ensure my loyalty.
How so? Finishing this judge business? Is that...
Do they ever really tell you?
I guess not.
Do I have somewhere to be today?
No, but you should be nice and sober tomorrow.
Unfortunate.
Well, I'll leave you to it. We've got other stuff we need to do today.
All right then.
Yeah. It's clear how Father Ixion feels about it. Severus, how do you feel about seeing your longtime companion, at this point, like 9 months, companion, looking this way?
I'm disappointed, but I'm also slightly worried why his sedentorship's getting on hold.
Yeah. Well, the three of you head outside. Kulan is not speaking to Renesmee, just like she hasn't really spoken to the rest of you over the last 2 days, but she also doesn't, she hasn't run away. And you guys can all mount up, and where are we headed to now?
Now we should drop her off.
Alrighty. Then we are going to cut to our good friend, Zednius.
It's been so
Zednius,
long.
you have been a bit busy. Specifically doing some stuff for Tullius. But I think you would probably be back at your residence by now. So I think this timeline-wise should work out just fine. Suffice it to say,
Would he
Tullius has
have
kept you busy.
would he have a spot even for her that he can just put someone?
He doesn't have a dungeon,
have,
if
like,
that's
a
what you're
literal
asking, but
palace?
he has multiple tons of rooms, and yeah, I mean, if you just want to treat her like a normal guest, yeah, he has tons of room.
Well, it depends on how the other judges sell it to me.
Yeah, we'll get to
there's
that,
some
yeah.
dangerous woman in here.
But at the moment, you have just finished up doing some undisclosed business for Tullius. You're feeling a bit drained. Het Hagal is also feeling a bit drained. And you have all your spell slots probably would have been consumed. That's my guess.
Is Het Hagal still by my side most of the time, or he was gonna take a break, but then I died?
Yeah, he has been very clingy since then, and in the
Okay.
work you've been doing for Tullius, he's been especially clingy because some of it's a little bit dangerous. But you've also been socializing around the city, so I think where you find yourself is, it's like 10 a.m., so you're in the parlor trying to, sober up after last night's festivities. You're, blinking out weariness. Your master servant has brought you a homemade concoction for recovering from drunkenness. And then, as you're reading the morning broadsheets from Tarako, your master servant will walk inside and he'll say, "Master Zednius, there are 4 judges and a criminal waiting in the rotunda."
A criminal?
"I believe so, sir. They seem to be escorting the criminal."
Oh. Okay. Let them in?
"Would you like to
But
gussy up first, sir?"
oh, of course. And I'm going to
What is
gussy
a gussy up?
I don't know. I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, of course I would gussy up. I know what that is.
Yeah.
Slang terminology for looking fancy and looking your best.
Yeah, I'll spritz on some perfume,
Yeah, well, I mean, you have a whole regalia when you're normally traveling. You can get on some fine clothes, get on your gold jewelry, your
Yeah,
rings
I look way better than the last time they saw
Oh
me,
yeah,
for
you're
sure.
fancy.
This is the new
Also, you're not
Zenist.
near death, which helps. Yeah, and Zednius, as you are, you're trying to be effortlessly cool. I think that's Zednius's general vibe. And your 4 companions will come in. They are covered in dirt. They've been on the road for weeks. They smell bad. Grania's hair is like a tangled mess. Renesmee is, starting to look a little bit more like the animals that she can shapeshift into every day, just because the road is starting to grate on her. There is a tall, scary man with a single glowing eye and a bunch of scars across his face. And Severus looks about the same as he always has.
Oh my gosh, and a nice looking girl comes through, and because of that, he looks at the glowing eye dude, and he looks more like the criminal.
Yeah. Oh,
Zednius
Ooh!
did meet Grania. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I just wanted to
Zednius
make
did a whole thing with Grania. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Okay.
And then there's, of course, a 45-year-old woman with a bunch of travel kit
Right.
on her who looks like a peasant.
Oh, when the master servant said I was getting 4 judges, I expected Maximus. Who's I'm not gonna Eddie Murphy play those parts, am I?
You don't have to talk to yourself, no.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you can share a quick
We've adopted
introduction.
more. Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny.
Introduced.
Yeah.
And who is this?
Motioning to. Who are you
What was
motioning
that?
to?
The woman.
Oh, her name is what was her name? Not in
Kulanaga.
character. In character, I would know this.
Yeah, well, maybe. But Severus said it. It's Kulanaga.
So say, are we
Kulanaga.
muted? What's
No,
happening?
you're
Well,
not. You said it like 3 times.
This is Kulanoga, and she is an unregistered spellcaster that we found, and now we're helping her get to the right avenues. Smile.
Oh. An unregistered spellcaster. Is she dangerous?
Yes.
Only if you try to hurt her. Like, she has lived with her whole life, but we're only saying she found out about it, like, really, like, a month ago, or a couple months ago. But she's never done anyone any harm, except she does have, like, wild magic bursts when she's in danger. So...
Yeah, keep her on like a corner, so in case she blows up, she only blows up part of the house, not all of it.
Never.
Keep her? You're telling me to keep this fugitive?
Oh,
No!
just for a few days until we
Not a
can find a new
fugitive.
shelter.
Yes, not a fugitive.
Well, it
We-
sounds like she is. She's an unregistered spellcaster.
Yes, but now we've found her, and she wants to register. So what we're going to do...
So why don't you take her to the Department of Magic?
Because we're having Pacentia deal with her. Pacentia, Grania, this is Grania. She doesn't speak English.
No,
She only
yeah, I know
signs.
Grania. I've heard the
What's
name
English?
Pacentia.
Yes, well, we're going to get her to go to Pacentia. She helped Grania. She's a
As
very
you're-
peaceful lady.
As you're considering this, Yogi,
Yeah.
check DM. Yeah, because there's something relevant to this that will happen in your solo session.
Yeah, I mean, Zednius already thinks that.
Okay, good.
Okay. So you want me to keep this dangerous spellcaster in my home and then give her to some woman in a few days?
Pretty much.
Like, the way that you're describing it sounds really negative, but
So bad vibes.
you are a judge of the Empire as well. And as judges of the Empire, we are tasked with doing what's right. And we don't believe that what is right is sending this peaceful woman who's lived the majority of her life incident-free, unless she is in peril danger, to go and register and be conscripted into the army for 10 years.
What is Oh, sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No.
I was gonna ask, what does she say about all this?
Oh, she's
awfully quiet.
she
She
doesn't
looks
She's
at
had a
you
couple
with hatred.
rough
well.
couple days. She's had a very rough couple of days. Obviously, she's not
She's not thrilled.
jumping
but she
with joy
realizes,
about this situation. She'd rather just live on her own, be a nomad for the rest of her life. But we wouldn't be doing our own judicial duties if we allowed.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, very well. I'm gonna call in my master servant and tell him to freshen her up and put her in one of the guest rooms.
He looks at her and he'll look at you, and he says, "Yes, of course, Master Zednius. Would it be possible to get her some new clothing to better fit in with the aesthetics of the manor?"
Yes.
Wonderful. And he will walk over to Kulan Aga, who will sort of like when he goes to like guide her, she'll sort of recoil a little bit and look at, I guess, probably Father Rixion or Renesmee and say into Brashen, "What's happening?"
He's just going to freshen you up. You don't
Yes.
fit the look I'm going for my estate.
Yeah, Kulan looks at
what-
Zednius, and when
what
she
he
realizes you
means.
speak to Brashen, she'll keep speaking and say, "What is this place?"
This is his home.
Do I speak to Brash? I don't have access to Zednius' sheet.
Oh,
so
I'm
gonna
pretty
assume
sure
I
that you do. I'm pretty sure it's one of the languages. I'll double check though.
This
Yeah,
is
you
his
do.
home. His servant
Yeah.
is going to run you a bath, get you fresh clothing.
This
She
is my home.
narrows her eyes. And she will follow the master servant, who is... He's very good at keeping a poker face, but Zednius, you know him well enough to know that he is disgusted by this person. He's just never shows those emotions very obviously because he's good at his job.
Especially not in front of guests.
Yeah, of course. You know, he would never, but you can tell. Micro expressions.
Yeah.
True, true.
But yeah, Kulan Aga is guided from the room. As for the rest of you, Zednius is looking good, looking healthy, looking much better than he was when he was sickly and near dead.
Yeah. Renesmee will look at him up and down very happily, and if she was a hugging person, she would hug him. But Zednius,
she
you look
does?
fantastic. So happy to
I
see
feel
what
like
you're doing.
with
Mom.
Renesmee's past, I wouldn't be surprised if she was a little touch averse.
Well, that's what she said.
Yeah,
if
she is
if
such a
Renesmee was a
girl, yeah.
hugging person, which
Yeah.
she's not.
Oh no, she
But
totally
Severus
seems
was
like she would
surprised. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking good. Thanks for noticing.
be. Yeah, a lot healthier.
Uh-huh. Yes, of course.
You think you're
Tullius
ready
has
to
made sure I
come on some
recovered
travels
very
again?
well. What's that?
Think you're gonna hit the road again? Join us?
Maybe. There's still a few things I need to tie up, but then I'd love to get back out there.
We'd love to have you back out here. Does
Where
Rixion
is,
speak to Brashen?
Yes.
Does Rixion speak Swinvillain?
He does not.
Then I will say in Swinvillain, we've been stuck with the guy this whole time, and we're itching to get you back.
Very well. I can see. He's
Would not be more different than
You make
Quite
direct eye
scary.
contact with the, grizzled paladin.
I'm sure he's old school.
oh, he is.
Quite.
Where is Maximus?
Drunk.
Is he here?
Not at the estate, no.
I mean
He's
in
in town.
Tarako.
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
Toronto.
He's just
But we're gonna meet up with him
getting drunk
tomorrow.
by himself in
All
the
right.
room.
I'll give him my well wishes.
Yeah. Are you feeling okay?
Yes. Just because me and Maximus haven't always seen eye to eye doesn't mean I don't wish him well.
No, of course. It's just you sound more. You sound
You
different.
seem very reserved.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, it's okay. You've been through a lot.
You guys do a couple more pleasant greetings, but as you said, Yogi, there's a reason why Zednius is not doing stuff. He has a pretty lengthy list of things he's trying to get done. So you guys do a quick greeting, and I have one question. Zednius, I think you know that what you intend to do with Kulan. Do you share that with Severus? Because of the Fermentari connection.
After it's maybe later, not right now.
Okay, all right then. You guys split up. You guys exit the estate. I'm sure Father Rixion is just as grumbly as he always is, and this fucking rich bozo.
Yeah,
he's not even.
He just sees this as misused funds of the Empire.
Yeah. Just wasting money for such a nice estate. And you guys can make your way back to the city of Tarako. That's burned through probably the first half of the day. Ostensibly, you're here to speak to the governor regarding what problems his province are facing, but Maximus is probably not in the state to do that right now. So do you want to wait to speak with the governor till tomorrow?
I
Yeah,
thought so.
probably.
All right.
We're gonna wait on Maximus. We can still talk to him and get our job, and then just catch him up to speed. No, or
I
guess
guess.
we could. We just got here, right?
Yeah.
Still so much day left.
There
Yeah,
is.
we can at least
Yeah, why
ask,
not?
like, announce ourselves and ask if there's an appointment
Or
tomorrow.
set up
They
an
were here.
appointment for tomorrow. Yeah, we could
Yeah.
set up an appointment so we're not waiting for 6 hours or
Very smart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
depending on how
we'll do
busy he is.
something.
Yeah, you guys, the four of you, can make your way towards the palace of this city. Tarako once had the mightiest palace in all of the empire, and that actually includes like the imperial city Mythos itself. That was until 80 years ago they joined the church in trying to overthrow the emperor. At that point, the city lost. Its walls were torn down. Its great palace was torn down. Every single repository of knowledge was burned. Its governor and his entire clan were struck from imperial records, and the city was essentially scoured. So now, the city has the smallest palace of any city in the entirety of the empire. It is a small little former counting house, basically a bank, turned into the seat of one of the most wealthy provinces. It's a very big mismatch for the wealth of this city compared to its tiny little governor's palace. And as you guys expect, bureaucracy is bad. This one's especially bad because you guys can see people with moving boxes carrying things into the palace because this city got a new governor as of 1 month ago. So they're still in the process of changing administrations, moving files, delivering new ones, hiring new personnel. It is absolute bedlam and chaos, and it takes you just 45 minutes just to speak to the receptionist, at which point she informs you, for such important judges of the empire, she could probably get you a meeting within the week, and she'll try to push that up further.
The end of the week, is that what you said?
Within the week.
Oh, within the week.
What day of the week is it?
It is currently a Tuesday.
That's fine.
Oh,
I mean, Rixion could use a long rest. That's all right with him.
So, after this is done, you've done your due diligence. You have the whole city of Tarako available to you. You do have plenty of hours of daylight left. Is there anything you'd like to do during the day? Does anyone want to? At this point, you don't have to worry about Kulan Aga anymore, so you can go a bit more freely. If any of you want to check in on Maximus, see how he's doing, that's always an option.
No.
Damn.
No, I think we're okay to leave him doing whatever the fuck he is doing.
That's so sad, dude. Real friends.
No. And they wonder why I never share money with them.
Yeah, that's so depressing.
I think I'll go talk to him.
But
I
isn't
do want to
Maximus
ask
just, like,
him.
drinking?
He's,
Like, does he
he's still
wanna get
drinking
alcohol?
at the bar.
But
for
he's
like
drinking more than
20
he
hours
usually
straight.
does, okay?
Oh,
Which
he's in
to
a
be
bad
fair,
just
spot.
having fun.
No.
Maximus is not
He's
like a heavy
depressed.
drinker. He drinks
No,
like
he's not.
No, he's a social
no,
drinker.
he drinks like a normal to like he doesn't take every opportunity to get drunk. He
Yeah,
just-
whereas...
he just
he had like a
drinks.
clenched fist. He was like trying to get in fights and shit. Which I guess now that does sound more like normal Maximus. So.
Well, okay. Normally, when he tries to get into fights, he does it very, very sober.
That's true. That's true. All right. So
And
the party
I'll go
can
and
split
check
up.
on him as well.
All right. Renesmee and Father Rixion, a strange pairing, will go check in on Maximus. Severus and Grania. What are you guys
What's
doing?
Taroko known for?
Tarako is most known for its check my thing. I believe it's most known for its ruins, like the former buildings that it had when it was at its prime.
I will say that this is probably one of the first times that Grania probably has like thought about more hygiene stuff, especially with the new outfit that Severus bought her, so she wants to get that clean.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can go to it. It's a leather outfit,
Oh.
right? It's a leather armor. Oh no, you're talking
no,
about
it
the
was
dress.
the
I
dress.
bought you.
Dress?
I thought you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
Dalian fine clothes.
Yeah. Most inns will offer this service, so you can go find an inn that you'll convince the party to stay in later. And yeah, you can pay a washerwoman to go through and be very careful with it. It'll cost you a whole silver piece.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Big money.
I guess I'll get my leather armor cleared too.
Yeah, you can go to a leather worker shop and get it re-oiled, so all the little creases and dent that it's starting to get because you're moving it so much, those will get sort of buffed out. It'll look not quite brand new because that's impossible, but it'll look more new.
It's
than
Hydra
it is.
leather,
Yeah. Oh.
so it's
well,
magical.
Yeah, it still won't look brand new, but it will look better. What else is? Oh, the other thing that Tarako is famous for is its opera scene. It has 3 opera houses, which is more than almost any other city in the Empire. I don't know if Severus is a big opera guy.
Not really.
That's fair.
But I'd ask Grana if she wants to see one. She's curious about it. I'll explain to her.
Let's
It's
go
like,
to
the spot where people
Yeah,
yell.
she's definitely gonna ask like what it is, but she has no clue.
I'll try to explain to her. It's sort of a, do you know what a theater like presentation is?
She'll shake her head no.
It's people acting out a story in front of you, pretending to be characters telling a story. And an opera is kind of that, but they sing. And they sing in a kind of an eccentric way. I don't know how to describe it very well.
She still seems confused, but because Severus is inviting her, she'll agree.
Alright. There are 3 levels of entry. Those of consistent patrons of the Opera House. That is not available to you. Then there are the nice seats, and then there are these sort of ground level seats, Globe Theater style, where you're just standing throughout the entire performance. That only costs a single
Hell no,
pence.
we're sitting.
Yeah, but you want to get, I'm assuming, some nice chairs, in which case it'll cost 2 Electrum, 1 Electrum for each of you.
2 Electrum is 1 gold? Was it that? Or was
10
5
Electrum is 1 gold.
Well, good lord.
Oh, 10. Right.
Yeah, so it's $200, not 1,000.
Versus the bad seats costing a single
Wait,
dollar.
what type of
Yes.
plays are available even?
Well, there's only one that they're currently doing. It is the Fall of Ignatius.
Can I pay in gold and get the change back?
No, they don't break change.
That would be
I can't
cheating
give
the
them-
money exchangers.
I can't give them 1 gold and they'll give me 8 Electrum?
No, that's literally illegal. They would actually be
Oh,
put
it
out
is?
of business by the Money Changers Guild, yeah.
Oh my god, those are...
It's
these
literally
fucking
one of the
cocks.
strongest monopolies on the planet.
One
going to
of.
Probably the most.
I'm going to the Money Scammer Guild.
Yeah, you make your way to the Money
yeah,
Changers
there it
Guild,
is.
separate to the Department of Coin, very important to note. And yeah, they take a 30% cut on currency exchanges.
Fuck. One day I'm gonna burn this whole shit down.
Dude, I've had so many players
Oh,
say that, and not
no,
one of them
no.
has done terrorism.
So what you're saying is someone
be the
needs
first.
to do terrorism.
Oh god, such a terrible idea.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
Wait, do the Mithdosian
Real,
banks
real.
not do the same thing?
The Department of Coin also takes 30%, but they then give that 30% to the Money Changers.
Oh, how did they maneuver their way in?
How did they lobby this shit? How
You
many
should
Emperor
go
penis did
to
they
a
suck?
library and go do some research.
Such a good idea. Yes.
Yeah, Drunk Maximus doing anyway, so you get 7
Oh, no,
Electrum.
not yet.
If you're turning gold to Electrum, you get 7 Electrum for 1 gold put in. So,
I'll exchange 2 gold just so
alright,
I can
so you get 14 Electrum.
have peace of mind.
Yeah, and you can pay
And I'll
for...
pay 2 Electrum for the seats.
Yeah.
I'll use my regular clothes, not my armor, to go there.
Yeah.
You know.
Granny, do you wear your fancy dress?
If it's done, yeah.
It is indeed done. It just takes the drying is the longest portion of it by far because they don't have dryers. But there are ways using actually incredibly expensive magical devices that basically cast like the prestidigitation cantrip that automatically cleans it. But these very nice upscale inns just put in the money and have one of those on hand that they can use to rapidly dry people's clothes.
Wait, I have prestidigitation.
Oh, then you can dry your own clothes. You don't, but they'll do it for you anyways. It's included in the service
Oh.
that you paid. And you can make your way to the Opera House. Now that's going to be a bit later in the evening, so we will cut to Renesmee and Father Rixion. Over the course of...
Yuki's AFK.
One thing,
Oh, you're right.
before
Thank you.
before I go, I'd like to visit a barber's shop.
Oh my, I've never... Yeah. So, does Severus shave daily, or does he just not grow a beard?
I think he grows a beard, not as much as most people do,
Okay.
and he just wants to go to the barber shop to have it nice, clean shaven, and have his haircut like at least touched up on.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
much, not any changes.
Yeah, there are, this is one of the few instances where magic has sort of embedded into Valeros because minor illusion is such a common thing. Likenesses of like portraits and stuff like that are almost photo accurate just because you can even a level 1 wizard can instantly conjure up an image of something. So when you go into this barbershop, alongside the edge of this like kind of dirty silver mirror, you can see these beautiful portraits that perfectly resemble different hairstyles. Is Severus going for the Mithdosian classic, like short cropped hair, or is he going for something?
Oh, hell
different?
no.
Okay.
I'm staying with my regular hairstyle. I just want them to, like, I guess, clean it up a bit.
Yeah, it
in the
has
sense
been
of, like,
7 months in this campaign, and you haven't gone to a barber, so it's a lot of
Yeah, so
a
it's
lot
like-
of trim work.
Yeah.
How would you
trimming
describe
the edges.
Severus's hairstyle?
It's sort of like a shoulder length that he keeps in he has like some. It's not like ponytails. It's more like a few like. I don't even know how to describe this. It basically it's pretty much like the token. It's short at the back, has some like longer part at the front.
Okay. Yeah. He'll also, sad fact of being a half elf,
clean
you get
shaven.
really long ear hair, so he'll also trim on that.
Oh,
to
I
get
do?
That nice.
Yikes.
All half elves do.
Do half elves get facial hair?
They do. Yeah, they absolutely can.
Okay.
Yeah,
As
again,
normal as
especially
human?
for Galadite half elves, those are on the spectrum from fully elven looking to like basically just humans. So yeah, plenty of them get facial hair. So yeah, he'll trim you up. You're looking nice and dapper. You get on some fine clothes, and Severus, you're feeling in rare form. You haven't looked like this in a very, very long time. Probably when you were doing infiltration missions for Tullius. I can't imagine a point where in normal life you would look like this. Yogi's back, so we will cut to the other side of the city, one of the seedier parts, and Renesmee and Father Rixion, the two of you on horseback, clop your way back to that bar. It's starting to get into the late evening after going out to Zednius' estate and back. It's like 4 or 5 in the evening, so this bar is now actually populated. So as the two of you walk in, Maximus, now that there are other people in the bar that will actually, reciprocate your fighting words, how do they find you?
They find me with a cup of coffee, looking a lot less, well, not necessarily less disheveled, but definitely a lot more sober. But still just as angry, and still giving everyone who will look at me the stink eye.
Okay, so now it's not drunk belligerence, it's just normal I hate people Maximus.
Yes, exactly.
He's
All right.
angry.
Yeah.
Well, except times by however much is required when the Empire fucks you.
Yeah. Okay, so the two of you walk in and you see Maximus like that. There's 2 open stools on either side of him.
Well,
Yeah, I'll
Rixion
sit
has
down.
seen Maximus, so he knows what he looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys sit down.
Yes.
He fucking reeks of alcohol, but he's clearly not that drunk anymore.
Maximus.
Oh, hello. You all have returned.
Yes. And you are still here.
I suppose. Yeah. I stopped drinking when you guys came by.
That's good.
Good.
How you feeling?
Not great. Definitely not going to feel too good tomorrow.
I'm sure you won't.
Can't drink like I used to. Getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it, Father. I get it.
Are you okay? You seem upset.
Yeah, I'll be all right. Nothing for you to worry about in this, man. But thank you.
Of course.
Troubles of the Empire and all that.
Of the Empire.
Yes, like I said, they're putting my senatorship on hold. Indefinite hold, they say.
For what?
Oh, I have some questions about what I was doing between getting out of the legions and becoming the judge. That and, they're concerned about my formal education.
Like, because you didn't go to what? A college?
Yeah. Something like that.
Will they let you? Not that you even have to. I mean, do all senators have to go to college?
I don't know. Never really looked into it that much. So it's
What's
kind
so
of,
great about being a senator anyway?
Oh, just part of my, live stream to raise someone to join the Imperial Guard and all that. Can't really do that without being a senator.
You said raise what to be an Imperial Guard?
Someone. A child. I
Oh.
mean, a son, more specifically, but yeah.
Is that you need to be a senator to have your child be an Imperial Guard?
Of course. They protect the Imperial family, God on Earth.
Oh. I see.
Well, it's about time to be getting on that, isn't
Yeah, the kid part of that equation.
Yeah, the wife part of that equation.
it?
That's very funny.
How old is Maximus? Is he like 32?
I think that's his exact age, which means
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think it's I hadn't thought of that, Alex. I'm gonna note that.
Yeah, we gotta get a kid next.
Yeah, it's gonna be every
suppose-
time that we see an NPC, there's gonna be a roll for her to ring on her finger.
You've got like 30 years left. You got a long time
Well,
left.
yeah, but the kid
Christian.
needs to be, I'd like to be
How old
alive
do you
to
think
see
that he
him.
is? 30 years
How old
for
wa-
fertility.
Wasn't Trump like 62? When
No,
he had
people can
Barron
have it
up?
for a long time, but do you want to?
Guy's
when you're that old?
timeline is way long.
I sort of need to be able to
Ah.
train the kid, and I want to live
Be
to see
around.
them. Yeah, I want to live to see them achieve the thing.
Mm-hmm.
No one gives a fuck if the kid actually wants to do it or not. We're not there yet.
Alright, well.
Well, what were you doing between your time out of the Legion and being a judge?
I started a mercenary band called, Maximus would know this. Ethan
Brotherhood of Glory.
That's right. Yeah, called the Brotherhood of Glory.
Sounds
Huh,
interesting.
Yeah,
what
we
did you
got
guys do?
just miscellaneous mercenary work, mostly killing wild animals, catching bandits, things of that nature.
And why was that a problem for your senator?
They sort of turned bandit after a while.
They, as in your group?
Yeah, they tried
So
to
they
kill
question
me
your leadership.
and left me for dead.
Oh,
I'm not sure what they're questioning, but I had to hunt them down and kill them all.
your
All that
own,
good stuff.
your own group.
Oh yeah, I'd been in the legions with them for several years, so that was. And at this point, Maximus gets kind of a far away looking size.
Yeah, I believe we played part of that out in the solo sessions, the last one, and that was fucking brutal.
We played like 3 of them out.
Yeah, a couple of them. Yeah, it was grim.
Anyway, yeah, that's something that I'll probably use some clout and money to solve. Oh, Tullius.
Tullius. I've heard this name a few times.
No, sorry, not Tullius. Lars. Sorry, he never said Tullius.
Oh.
He actually said Lars. Yes, the mighty esteemed Consul Lars Ignia doesn't seem to be living up to his promises.
Is Lars isn't the Lars that used to be in our party, right?
No, he's your
talking
boss
about
in the Department of Fate.
Our boss? Okay.
Yeah.
To talk to him.
He owes you, right? You helped him get to his position?
Yes, that was my reward, was a senatorship. Or not a senator, like a... What is that? Is that a senatorship? Is that what that's called? I feel like a senator is a very specific thing.
No, it is a senatorship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you don't start out as a...
You do start out as a senator, that's the lowest rank.
Oh! I thought consul was the lowest rank.
Consul is the highest possible rank.
Oh, sorry, not quaestor. There,
Quaestor
that's
is the
it.
second lowest rank.
So what do senators do then?
Literally nothing until they can get a position.
Nice.
That's what he wants.
Well, no, I think he wants to go up the cursus honorum, like the political ladder,
Oh.
but you have to
Yeah.
start as a senator.
Unless you have unga amounts of money, right?
Yeah, like absurd amounts of it.
Yeah.
Well, as Maximus reminisces on anger, it's not so much reminiscing, it's just so more stewing, just angry.
Yeah.
We will cut to Severus and Grania. You guys make your way to the Opera House of Tarocco. This structure is the oldest continuously operated opera house in the Empire. There's a couple that are older in terms of ruins, but this one has been consistently paid for by 18 judges. It is older than the Empire. It is well into the days of the Republic. It was still being maintained by consecutive governors. And as you guys file into the second level balcony, the sort of internal structure of this opera house is you have a ground floor that's basically just foundation. It's just like concrete, in which hundreds and hundreds of people pack in while standing to look at the stage. Then, about 10 feet above them is the stage itself. It's sort of like lacquered wood with these different layers of curtains. You can see like rope systems for pulley and rigging and stuff like that. And then there are different tiers. There's 3 separate tiers of seating that all look down on the stage, sort of like, you know, booths and things like that. And since you paid Electrum, the 2 of you will be sharing a booth with 2 other, you know, viewers of the opera. You guys, especially Severus, is pretty timely, so I think you guys get there a bit early. I'm actually curious about both your characters. Severus, how do you feel about when you're in these structures where the Empire has spent, you know, fortunes making them look beautiful? Is he in awe? Does he view it as wasteful? What's Severus's perspective on all that?
In one way, I'm pretty impressed that there's so much like power that the Empire holds that they can produce this.
Yeah.
Just to show everybody the power. But at the same time, I'm kind of annoyed because it seems awfully wasteful.
And Grania, what about you? What are these big structures of stone with beautiful etching and gold inlay? How does she feel about them?
Definitely unnatural and uneasy compared to what she's used to, especially with all the people here.
Yeah,
She's
there's
probably
lots.
just like
There
cleaning
are,
close to Severus and trying to not pay attention to other people as much.
yeah, there are 1,700 people in this building. It is very densely packed. And eventually, the other 2 people will arrive, and a person will poke his head in, and he will provide you guys with a brochure. They are very plainly written. It's just because paper is expensive, so it's just parchment with like details written on it. The play is called The Tragedy of Ignatius, or The Fall of Ignatius is an alternate title. It takes place 95 years ago, and it gives you like the list of all the cast members and the pit, which will be playing the music, and the director and all that stuff. Almost everyone involved in the production belongs to the clan Arenia, which is one of the senatorial clans. And slowly, you know, people get down to their seat and they get quiet. And this is a 1.5 hour long opera, so on the shorter end, honestly. And the summary of the plot is essentially the main villain of the opera is a man named Ignatius. He is the governor of Cisatlia, and he views himself as a loyal ally to the church. However, in this play, he is seduced by a demon. The demon's name is Faust. And the 2 of them go back and forth, Ignatius and Faust, and Ignatius professes his faith to the Emperor, but throughout the first act of the show, Faust begins to twist that love and that devotion into violent fanaticism, you know, ignoring reality, ignoring the beauty of the Empire, and instead advocating for the removal of the Emperor and replacing it with an oligarchy of clergymen. There's a romance subplot as well, but the main thrust is about Faust and Ignatius. The second act is sort of the light wars. It is Ignatius leading armies and Faust giving him bad advice every step of the way. Military battles being lost, things like that. And then the final act, there are people who rush on stage holding these streamers that represent fire, and it's very short, and it essentially is Ignatius watching the city burn around him, wondering how he could have brought his whole people into this mess. And then Faust reveals his true form. He was originally looked like an alchemist. He reveals his true form as that of a demon and admits that he seduced Ignatius away from the path of righteousness, and now his city will burn. And that is the end of the play.
The bad character's name is Faust?
Faust. That's the demon's name. Yeah.
Yes, I know.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. I've read Faust.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
as the play is wrapping up, they do the operatic singing. There's a romance subplot, but it's very Shakespearean in the sense that everyone dies. Everyone burns alive in the city of Cicatlia as the Emperor's legions approach. And of course, in his very last moments, Ignatius is praying to the Almighty to spare him the flames, but he is not spared. So people start to stand up and leave, and this is a first opera for both of you. What are your reactions?
Granny probably didn't understand a lot of it, if I had to guess. I couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
But I think she enjoyed going out and doing something, so.
Yeah, I probably thought it was like an interesting experience, but not my type of thing.
All right.
Too intense.
Yeah, very tragic as well. You guys leave the booth and head out, and you realize that the actual opera portion is only a small part of the experience. Out in the lobby, tons of platings of food and drinks have come out, and since you guys bought into the upper tier, that's the sort of people that you would eat and drink with, and it seems to be a networking opportunity, because those people who were sitting next to you seemed bored throughout most of the show, but now they're using that to speak to other people. And you have these little cliques forming and then breaking up as people use this post-opera food to talk and network.
Well, I'm fully diving into that. That's way more interesting.
Yeah, sure. Roll a insight check. And while Severus begins to dive into crowds and try to figure out, secrets and just listen, because that's what he likes doing. Granny,
Oh no, I want to build contacts.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, the angle I have here is maybe one of these has any sort of lead I can find to buy a magical bow.
Okay,
But
roll a
the hope
charisma
that
check then.
dies last.
Yeah, roll charisma or persuasion if you have it instead of insight.
Persuasion.
Perfect, yeah, do that. And while Severus is schmoozing and boozing, what are you doing, Grania?
If Severus doesn't try to separate himself, she's just going to be kind of clinging to his cloak and following him.
Okay. Well, Severus, most of your conversations start the exact same way. You give them your name, they give you theirs, they talk about their mid to low income business that is, looking for clients. You say, I want to buy a magical bow. They say, I have literally no idea where to acquire one of those. And you do your pleasantries and then you move on. This class of people are the step just below senators. None of the people here are senators. They're like wealthy merchantmen, in like political terms, they'd be the fourth estate. They are, the merchant class. So unfortunately, none of them are tuned into the organs of government that you would need to rely upon to get a magical bow.
Too bad.
Yeah. But if you want to know where to get some of the nicest shoes in the city, or large amounts of nails, or carved wooden planks for home construction, then...
What about the best coffee?
None of the people here are restaurant owners, but one of them, he does own a plantation where they grow coffee, and he delivers it to a coffee house here in Taraka. So, he'll hype them up and say that you should go there.
I guess I'll try them during my long rest.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys leave the opera. Unfortunately, not getting a chance to meddle with those people who could actually get you what you're looking for. Do you guys go seek out Renesmee and Father Rixion and Maximus, or are you just going to get some sleep?
Granny's probably pretty exhausted. That entire situation is like Severus probably picked up on hints of her that she just seemed like very anxious or nervous being around that many people.
Oh yeah. I would have tried to if anybody of them annoy her, deflect. I try to not have them be too annoyed. and
Okay.
then I'll, just turn in for the night. Oh,
Alrighty.
I just realized I have a cool idea planned I could do with Granny in the future. Something that she might find really exciting.
Well, keep that in mind. Renesmee, Maximus, Rixion, before you guys intern for the evening, is there anything else you wanted to do? Things to talk
No.
about, places to go?
Yeah, when Renesmee goes to the bathroom or something,
Sure.
I want to ask
Uh-oh.
Maximus if he's ever noticed anything weird about Grania.
What, you think that I would snitch?
Well, hey, his reasons are his own.
Valid. I go to pee.
How so?
Well, I cast a spell, and I detected a presence on her, a fae.
Faye? Really?
It just seemed very unusual.
Well, she did spend a lot of time in the Deadwood, especially when she was young. Through no fault of her own. She was, I know she was imprisoned there for a considerable length of time.
Grania was?
Oh, fuck, you said Grant? I thought you said Renesmee. Damn it.
No.
Maximus hasn't recovered from his alcohol
Yeah,
binge.
Yeah. I was gonna say, damn, he's doing well getting Granny out of this pickle.
Yeah, really.
She doesn't, she doesn't talk very much, as I'm sure you've noticed.
Right. It just seems off. And then she denied it was there, but I don't know.
You saw
I
a hint of
I couldn't
Faye
make
on
out
her.
what it was or anything, but I definitely know that there was a Fey presence on her shoulder that disappeared once it noticed that I could sense it.
You met Zednius before, right?
It was just at his estate, yes.
Well, he had something like that. A little familiar of some kind.
Oh.
Could it be something like that? I mean, we were all a bit weirded out at first, of course, but the thing proved it was quite helpful.
Familiar.
In most respects. I don't know.
Possible.
I don't know much about magic. From my understanding, that's what it was like. It was very made a lot of slurping noises.
What in the... Typically, familiars are just like birds or cats, right? I'm not familiar with this.
Oh yeah, it was. Did we ever see Het Hagal, or did we just?
Oh,
hear
yeah.
him?
Once or twice, he intentionally dropped his invisibility so that you could see.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he was, globous and black and kind of inky. And, had a lot of tentacles and could eat magical items.
Tentacles and
having a stroke.
inky. Yeah, I don't. I know out of character he's demonic, but did that description ping that radar on?
I don't think so. I
Rixion?
mean, like the most
Okay.
common demonic familiars are like imps, and that's clearly not an
Right.
imp. So
What in the world what is happening with these new
the
recruits?
fucking
And,
empire.
It could speak.
Are
Sometimes.
things really this bad?
It sounds
Very
like,
helpful,
I don't
though.
know,
Really
like
scraping the
Maximus
bottom of the barrel,
has just
huh?
done drugs or something.
He's just sharing everything.
Well, if what you say is true about
Something like that.
this Zednius, it could be, but she's hiding it. If that's what it is.
So did he at first. But it proved it wasn't harmful to us. So just sort of
Well, all right.
left him be.
I don't know if I'm going to be around much longer with you all, so I figured you should know.
All right, I'm sure we can have someone talk to Granny about it. Tell her the same thing we had going on with Zednius, and tell her that it's that'll actually be a good way, because if it's actually hurtful, then I would imagine she then wouldn't want to share it. But if it's harmless and even helpful, then
Well, I'll leave it in your discretion then. If you think it's okay and you've worked with similar bizarre magics,
I'm not the one to ask about the nature of magics, though.
Well, you've been I just mean that you've got experience working with these mysterious magic users.
I suppose, but in the same sense that I've had experience with siege engines and that I've been around them before, doesn't mean I know how to build one.
Right.
At around this time, Renesmee will probably return from the washroom.
Hi, sorry.
Yeah.
And they both go really
Right.
quiet when you come back.
Anyway,
I'll
like
look
I
at them
said,
both awkwardly.
like I said, I really wouldn't know. Trebuchets and catapults were never my area of expertise.
Just I talked about siege equipment.
Oh,
I mean, I
It's pretty
saw
obvious
How many
that
times
trebuchets
a
are
day?
superior.
Yeah, we're just talking about the.
I saw their
Roman
effects,
Empire.
but
Yeah.
never.
It's funny. Yeah, how many times a day do you think about the Mithracian Empire?
I mean, unironically, the valorous equivalent.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but it's still going, so it
yeah,
would be,
exactly. Daily.
Yeah.
Literally every day.
Yeah, you guys will be able to get some sleep. It's going to cost 5 electrum if someone would like to cough that up.
Checking my coffers.
Oh yeah, I actually have money in this campaign.
You have a
You have a
fortune.
lot of money.
Yeah.
Right.
He's used to
I
our other
don't have
campaign where he's
any
literally
electrum.
broke. Well, pretty broke, not completely broke.
No, this
I
is
mean,
his alter ego.
Yeah.
How many silver in an
Which makes
electrum?
There are 5 silver.
I think it's.
And how many
an electrum is
do we need to
100?
cough up?
You need to pay 5 electrum for the party.
How many copper in a silver?
20.
20.
Fuck.
You owe 500 pence, however you want to pay that. Or you can just
Okay,
give them
I
a
can
gold
get-
for 2 nights.
Are we gonna? Oh, are we like long resting here? Is
I
that
don't
the-
think you're gonna get a long rest, no.
They said they told us that we would get a meeting within the week, hopefully, but who
Oh,
knows?
okay, yeah, I'm fine with coughing up a gold for a night then. I just don't want to have to go to the damn
Yeah, we can pay for 2 nights and not go to the money changer.
Speaking of which, I have something I want to do. Time.
Okay, cool. Well then, we can get some sleep, so short rest for everyone. We'll go on to the next day. So the 26th, you guys wake up bright early in the morning. You do not have any communication from Placentia. You do not have any communication from the governor. You do, however, as you guys are getting your things ready, someone will, come up to the communal room that you guys are all staying in. It's sort of a long room with several bunks. And there will just sort of be a knock on the door at like 8 a.m. and someone will slide a written slip underneath the door. And it says that someone has requested to meet with you and is waiting downstairs within like the bar area of the inn.
Someone.
Oh,
Someone.
For all of us? Who was it for?
They just slipped it under into the communal space that you're all in, so presumably it's for all 5 of you.
oh.
All
Looks
right,
like
then.
Someone is waiting for us.
Interesting.
Do you all
okay?
descend?
Esme will grab her stuff and just head
Yeah.
down. She'll
Yeah.
I guess
Like,
we should see what they want.
she'll go down
expecting
before everyone
Tullius.
else, but
Okay.
if it's not someone she recognizes, she'll just pretend to like not be there.
Okay. Okay. Bleary-eyed, you guys begin to descend the stairs, and you can sort of peek from the top of the stairs, and there is a man. He has robes around him, like sort of like a toga type deal with like a green stripe, and he's just sort of like tapping his foot.
Right, recognize if any of that means anything.
A toga with a green stripe would typically mean that they are a member of the Department of Civility.
Oh,
Do they seem familiar at all?
Do they seem familiar? No, I don't think you've ever seen this person in your life.
Okay.
I'll
fuck
head
that.
down.
Yeah,
Let's go. I'll go greet the person.
yeah, you guys head downstairs. He looks around. Father Rixion, you went downstairs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems to look at you first and says, "Ah, wonderful! You got my. It's a pleasure to meet you, Father Rixion."
I'm sorry, you have me at a disadvantage.
I'm Vernus of Torsana. There's no reason for you to know me. I'm a scribe for the Department of Civility. I've come to you because I've heard that you and I guess some others are traveling the core provinces. You're dealing with problems that people are facing, and there's been a problem that I've been beseeching the governor for weeks now, and there's been no reply at all.
Oh. Well. What is
Well,
it?
as judges, I suppose we could listen.
Well, I suppose we're not doing anything better at the moment.
Right.
I sought you out in particular because I thought that you'd take interest in this. You see, I was assigned to a town called Torsana. It's where I was born and where I was assigned after I finished my training as a scribe. And recently, this man has come through. His name is Uncle Zeno. I think he's a huckster, and he claims that he has weapons that have the souls of heroes from the Galentine War embedded in them. He claims to have a mace with High Necromancer Domitus, a spear with Paladin Sicarius. I think he's swindling all those quaestors in the south, and all of them seem to believe the artifacts are genuine. They're bidding hundreds of gold, and I'm hoping you can put it all to a stop before the final auction concludes.
Jesus. And how does he convince them that they're real? I mean, I'm sure that these people aren't stupid enough
Well,
to
they talk
believe
to you.
What?
the
Are
weapon.
these auctions legal?
No, it's
No
not going
way.
through the Department of Magic.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like
shot.
super illegal.
The weapons talk to you. I tested it myself because I'm incredulous at any claim, but you pick up the weapon and you hear their voice in your head, the voice of... But even then, I'm still suspicious of it because why would this lowly man, not even a member of the Department of Magic, possess such items? And he says it's not necromancy, but how else could you bond a soul to a weapon? All of it stinks.
Well, I
Seems
doubt
like-
that it's even the soul of these important people. Like you said.
And if it
how
was,
would he
that'd be
have-
highly illegal, right?
Most definitely, but High Master Dominus in a
They would
mace
also sell
under...
for like thousands of gold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, but
He's swindling these people, for
And
certain.
it's not just necromancers either. He's claiming some brave heroes who died for the Empire, fighting alongside you, Father Rixion. Justinia the Virtuous, Paladin Sicarius, Heldago, the Fire Warrior. Their legacies are being tarnished by this huckster.
does he have anyone
That-
else with him, or is he working alone?
No, he moves around in a cart filled with all sorts of baubles. Apparently, he came from Mythasia, sells panaceas and cures for all sorts of ailments.
When he mentions that this guy's claiming he knows that he's like trapped my fallen, or has access to my fallen comrades in these weapons or items, I like take notice of that and instantly kind of want to know, where's this guy?
He's set up in his little cart outside my city, Somana. It's Torsana. He's just sort of living there until the final auction comes together. It's a couple weeks out, but I don't even want to risk him getting any coin in his hand.
Where's Tamara?
Definitely.
It
How
is
far away
that
is
little
this?
agricultural icon that was right on the Loricon River, so it is going to be, as he says, it's only a day ride. I came up to the city as soon as I heard you were here.
We should definitely
Um,
investigate this.
How many days is it until the final auction?
3 weeks is when it was scheduled for. Quaestors are coming from all across northern Transatlia and southern Cisatlia. I think he's even trying to get a member of the Department of Magic on board to make the whole thing legal.
my god. Well, yes, if you can direct us to him, we will deal with this promptly. This is absolutely abhorrent behavior.
You'll ride with me southward.
At once.
That would be an honor. I have all sorts of questions about the wartime. I was a young man at the time, but I heard the stories of valor of you leading soldiers on the southern frontier.
Yes.
Oh boy,
I did.
It's gonna be one ride.
Quite.
As he begins to pester Father Rixion with very specific questions, there's two things I want to cover, which is one, Maximus, that name is both familiar to you and this playbook, because you've actually met this person before. You, Severus, and I believe it was Zednius.
Oh, is it that same guy?
Yes, it is. About real life over like 6 or 7 months ago, but before the Raven Tyrant arc, when you were coming back from the frontier, there was this guy who was selling stuff to like a bunch of plantation workers, and he knew stuff about you that he couldn't have known, and so you just sort of said, okay, fuck it, he's probably magical, and then you let him, do his thing. And yeah, seems to be back at it again.
Hey, wait a minute.
Wait, if this is the same guy, I want reinforcements. This guy might be.
Yeah, I think
super
as you're
dangerous.
climbing onto Mickey, that's when you remember, wait, Zeno, why do I know that
Wait.
name? Motherfucker!
Yeah.
I knew that guy. I'll look at Severus. We met that guy.
Yeah,
The scribe looks over.
Yeah.
Did he have blue hair? Fine combed beard?
Yeah, he was super weird.
Did he have those things, Alex?
All of those things. He was very flamboyant looking.
He was extremely distinct.
Yeah, he had all of those things.
He seemed to possess at least some type of magic that was
And you didn't check
odd.
his registration?
We were A, busy, and B, I wanted to, I came back and he was gone.
All right. Well, let's not let him get away this time.
I think we should get reinforcements. This guy might be really dangerous.
You think that however many there are of us, the
5 judges of
five
the
of us,
Empire.
5 of us can't handle it?
I think some manpower just to like throw at somebody would help.
We
a
handled
great
the
deal.
other bard.
But then it becomes a whole.
The scribe will
thing,
speak up. If you can convince the Quaestor of Torsana that a con artist is in his midst, there is a small imperial garrison there, one Contubernium.
That should do the trick.
I suppose.
Does this scribe seem like he's fucking with us at all?
He seems incredibly earnest and awestruck with Rixion, but roll me an insight check. Maybe that's a cover.
Yeah. Is he maybe
he's
too
in on
earnest
the
and too
yeah, or
awestruck?
yeah, maybe he's in on the scheme. Who the fuck
Maybe
knows?
is he baiting us to somewhere? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you guys are at war with a major power. Maybe they do have people, and yeah, from what you can discern, Tullius was always better at the sort of reading people angle of things, but from what you can discern, he seems just, almost like completely fanning out over Father Rixion. So, any final loose ends to type in Taraka, or are we good to ride southward?
We should, in case someone from the governor's palace comes looking for us, we should leave a note here.
Yeah, that can easily be done. Plus,
How will Cassandra contact us?
she will just send a letter through the courier service, and if you go to a courier's office, that's how you'll know that she sent you a letter. They don't know your address anyway, so you just have to go through the courier system.
Before we leave Taraka, I'd like to go back to Zednius' estate alone, just to check in.
Okay. Alone?
Did anyone... I don't think any of you guys told me you went to visit Zednius.
Father Rixion did. He said he met.
Oh,
Yeah,
he said
I
that's
just
right.
met
Yeah,
him.
after I thought that's right. Never mind.
Okay, yeah, Renesmee, you can go to Zednius' estate, and you can just catch up with the rest of the judges by riding extra hard.
How long has it been? Just a day?
Yes. So,
Okay.
yeah, we'll get to that. We both know what's going on there.
Is there a way I could procure poisons?
If you had literally one full day here, yes, but in the 20 minutes you guys have before you're trying to go southward, probably not.
I was just wondering if there's a way I could. Is there poisons that act like somewhat short term that paralyze people?
There are paralyzing poisons. I think all of them take like several minutes to come into effect, though.
What about no? That's not true. There was the one that they put on the door in the other campaign that instantly paralyzed.
That
the
one
character.
is so rare and expensive. It's not even. I mean,
Okay,
yes, that does
okay.
exist, but yeah. No, yeah.
I basically
there are
wanted
several...
something to shoot an arrow at him that prevents him from spellcasting.
Yeah, there are things that do that. You know of one particularly. Forktail poison is a paralytic. It comes into effect in 1 minute. It costs a small fortune though, probably 50 gold for a dose.
A dose is how many like uses?
One
One?
use.
Does that apply to arrows or daggers or?
Anything you want to equip it on, yeah.
Okay, one arrow. What that would be?
One arrow, yes.
Jeez. Okay.
But the DC is like 25 if you don't want to have any effect. So yeah, it's pretty hard.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So the party splits. Renesmee goes off to that estate. But right before we do that, Rixion, this may come up during the thing, so I just want to let you know. Those 3 people he mentioned, Paladin Sicarius, Justinia the Virtuous, and Heldago the Fire Warrior. He dropped something. You good, Ethan? He's not good. He spilled something.
Spilled his coffee.
Oh no.
I took my headphones off and then batted them onto the floor.
What a fucked up day.
Oh, they broke. Oh no.
They were already broken. They're held together with electrical tape currently, but
Pog.
I broke
What
that
tape?
too. Yeah, that's unironically these.
Oh my
Yes.
god. Anyways, yeah, Father Rixion, of those 3 people, one of them you actually met. Paladin Sicarius was with you for the last 3 months of the war. You spoke to him many times, and he died during the battle at Faria, which is where you also died, but you came back, and he did not. He was raised as a wight during the battle and then killed a second time, so he
Oof.
can no longer be revived. So if it comes up, you've met this person before, you know things about him. But with that, the main party continues southward, and Renesmee, you make your way to the estate of Zednius. The estate is looking well maintained, looking fine. There's people trimming the hedgerows and stuff like that. And you can ride up. A master servant will come outside. He's very condescending, as are most master servants, and he says, "Yes, of course, Master Zednius will meet with you momentarily." And there's a pause. And, 10 minutes later, you are ushered in through a long hallway with several busts into a sitting room, the sort of like the living room.
I think it's going to take me more than 10 minutes to get ready.
Yeah, you're not the one that's going to be meeting with her anyway,
Oh,
so that's
okay.
kind of too much. You got your good old father there. And sitting in the living room, Renesmee, you see the familiar, old, and leather-worn face of Tullius, leaning back in a chair. He seems to be looking at the fire. He'll stand up and say, "Lady Judge."
What a surprise seeing you here.
I was just visiting my son, making sure that his condition has improved.
Oh, fantastic. He seems significantly better than.
Yes, he is in full health and recovered from the worst of the mental effects of death.
Yeah, he seems a little different, but it's understandable.
He has a heavy weight on his shoulders. I don't think it has anything to do with his death.
What do you mean?
Well, we're trying to get him involved in the more political side of things, set up a legacy for him, get him more situated. So a lot of stress.
Like,
Either way, it's good that
like
you came
what?
to check in on him. I think he's still getting ready.
Oh. How are you trying to situate him politically? I just never thought that Zednius had an interest in politics like that.
Well, my title and position are not very publicly known, so Zednius is seen as a wealthy man with no connections. If he ever wishes to do anything with his life, purchase property, make businesses, ascend the political ladder, he'll need to have friends, acquaintances, networking, things like that.
Oh, I see. And how are you doing?
I'm doing as I always am, perfectly fine and happy to serve the Empire.
Good. Well, I am here to visit your house guest. I'm just checking in to see how she is doing.
Ah, yes, the spellcaster. I'm afraid she escaped.
What?
She escaped.
How did she escape?
Well, she is quite capable of casting magic, quite intentionally, actually. Unfortunately, one of Zednius's servants was killed in the altercation, and she has fled the estate. I've put out the word amongst the Department of Magic to keep an eye out for her.
Which servant died?
The servant who was delivering her food.
What was his name?
A poor young boy. His name was Titus. He was only working here at the request of his mother. It was a tragic thing. 16.
That is so sad.
Agreed. But you won't ever see Mrs. Aga again. Once she's found, she'll be taken care of accordingly.
It's so tragic. We really did think that we were going to set her up for the best possible future, but
You can
her
never
fate was
really
in her
know
own
someone.
hands. Can I insight check?
Absolutely.
I feel like he's like totally lying. I'm picking up on it like out of character. There's something
Yeah.
fucking weird. I don't
Yeah,
even
but
have
Tellius
good
is just-
insight.
Yeah, I mean, with a 14, there's nothing on his face that indicates his lying, but I think you can reasonably ascertain Kulan Aga. This insight check is more for Kulan Aga, not even really Tullius, because he is just a blank sheet. Like, there's no indication of him lying. But
Yeah.
Kulan was depressed. She was not homicide. She could have probably done some horrible shit to you guys. She had spells left at the end
Yeah.
there, but she had kind of given up, resigned herself to her fate. So the idea that she would kill a 16-year-old boy to get her freedom, I don't think that adds up to you. But importantly, Tullius isn't like visually lying to you. There's no indication.
Yeah, and I doubt that killing him had to, like, for her to escape, basically. He could have just let her go whenever they delivered the food and then escaped after.
But around this time, Zednius will, enter the dining room looking all fancy. Or the living room.
Zednius, it is nice to see you.
Yes. It's, yes. It's been quite the morning.
I wanted to talk with you, privately, if that's okay.
All right.
Yeah, Tullius will nod and he won't intrude. He'll walk over to the window and look out at the sort of beginnings of the planting season.
And I will take Zednius for like a little walk outside.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. It's looking beautiful. It's proper spring, and Zednius employs many involuntary laborers who maintain his property, so it looks wonderful.
Zednius, where's
Yes?
the girl that I brought here?
What do you mean? I'm sure Tullius told you.
No, he didn't.
That's why I've been so busy. I've had to tell poor Titus's mother.
Really?
I thought that you wouldn't bring savage, unregistered spellcasters to my home. I trusted you, and poor Titus.
Poor Titus. Can we have like some insight check or like?
Yeah. Now,
Can he roll a fucking deception? Because I
well-
feel like he wouldn't have kept
Yeah.
his story so
Yeah,
straight.
let me check Zednius' thing. Now, Zednius, you did go over this with Tullius several times because he wanted to make sure the two of you are on the same page.
Right.
So it's just gonna be a normal
There
deception
is
check.
something going on.
So
Fucking
it-
You
Hard to
have-
believe he would just reveal that.
So do a GM roll. It's a D20 plus 9 for Zednius.
How do I do a GM roll?
Slash GM roll. Like that.
So
Without the dots.
1d20 plus 8 is that what you
9.
said? 9.
You're very charismatic. You're a little Tullius. And roll an insight check, Peach.
I want to, before I do this, cast guidance on myself.
So in the middle of you walking around the house, you're like pausing to cast a spell.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Okay. I mean, it's not explicitly illegal.
It's
It's a little
very
bit weird, but it's
Strange
not.
behavior.
Yeah. But hey, you know.
It's just by touch, so
Yeah,
I
I
have to.
But it's obvious you're doing it.
Yeah, it's a verbal somatic. So you're like touching your own arm and whispering words. Your eyes glow with magic,
Yeah.
and then okay, fine, yeah. Insight check with an additional 1d4. Okay, Zenius, you know what you rolled, so feel free to answer that. What you think she gets.
How
The
do I
D4
roll?
though.
Yeah, I have to roll one.
Oh,
D4.
oh, that's actually critical. Yeah, that d4 may make the difference.
Jesus.
So it's 25 is the total number. So Yogi,
Okay.
you know what you rolled. You know what she got. I would say be generous because she got very close to your number. But feel free.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell that Zednius is upset that the child died, and that the woman is no longer with us. But he's expressing anger towards you that you would put a criminal in his home, but maybe that anger isn't as authentic.
I know, it didn't feel authentic either when you were saying it.
Yeah, he does look sad though about the kid dying.
Like you want to believe me, but there's that little thing in the back like, oh, that didn't quite add up. Because the deception roll I rolled was very high.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't believe it out of character,
Yeah.
and I didn't believe it in character either.
Yeah, I mean, Renesmee,
and
you're here
it just
looking at your
hasn't
friend.
changed my mind.
Yeah, you're here looking
Yeah,
at your friend
nothing's
of
changed.
like 9 months. And I mean, what part of it do you think is a lie? Because depending on which part they're lying about, it could be pretty fucked up.
I think that the kid did die because I was offered a name. And he seems actually sad about it. The anger part, even when he was role-playing it with his voice, didn't sound genuine. So I was like, he's just
Well, I'm not
genuinely
like
mad
a
at me.
professional actor. I don't know how to.
I know,
No,
but
no,
it
You're
was...
not?
No,
What?
it's
I'm not
It was
Leonardo
vilified
DiCaprio.
by
I
the
dare
fact that
you.
you said that it wasn't supposed to sound genuine.
Yeah, no,
It was
this
like,
is
oh
perfect,
yeah,
yeah.
that already didn't sound genuine,
Yeah, it
so
was
I haven't learned
perfect.
anything new, but...
IRL
I'm just going
deception
to-
check.
Yeah. I am just going to look him in his eyes with like a confusion and like trying to search for like what the fuck and be like, Zenius, why are you lying to me?
I'm not sure why you don't trust me.
What did you do?
Do you want to speak to the boy's mother and tell him you don't think he's dead? I can take you to her.
I do think he's dead.
Flag.
I do think he's dead. I don't think that you're telling me the truth about how that happened, though.
It's very unfortunate that you don't believe me. That you would think that I would lie to you about something this serious.
It's unfortunate that you would lie to me about something this serious.
I don't know how to react to when someone calls me a liar and I don't think I'm a liar. Out of character, I don't know how to
that's
react.
fair.
So.
Well, you know, you and her have been walking around the house and you're just sort of at the rear patio. I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough thing.
So Vanessa feels like something happened, and she's not getting the full answer.
Well, the two of you are currently just looking
Yeah.
at each other.
Zenius, you're
I mean,
not
that's
telling
all
me
I
the
know.
full
I don't
story.
know that the boy came and gave her food. She took that opportunity to escape. I don't know where she went. I don't know where she is. It's not like she had any identifying items to locate.
But it doesn't
But-
make any sense. She wasn't
Of course, she'll be
homicidal.
swiftly dealt with. Are you sure? How long did you know her?
How long did you?
Well, I know that she killed poor Titus. I know that she escaped. I didn't know her for anything. I trusted you. But I won't be accused of lying in my own home. If you're going to continue with this behavior, it's not going to happen.
I don't know what you're up to, Zednius.
I'm up to the good of the Empire. And then I'll
Dude, he
like
sounds
stand
just
up
like
and walk away.
Tullius. It's perfect.
I'll
Yeah.
stand up and start walking away, and then if things can escalate depending on how.
Yeah, you start walking away. Yeah, God, you sound just like Tullius. It's so good. Yeah, you start to walk back towards the estate.
I let him walk away. That's fine.
Yeah.
To Renesmee, she's just like, she doesn't actually know based off of evidence, but I guess in her gut she knows that something went wrong here, and
Yeah.
she feels. Even if this is, because I don't actually know the full story of what's happening here, but Renesmee just feels like he's done something really fucked up, and he's not like the same Zednius that she thought he was.
Yeah, he is more and more like Tullius.
Yeah.
Well, what was meant to be a fond farewell is a very grim reminder of mortality. And you can make your way back out to the front of the estate. The master servant will guide you along. He will say nothing, but as you get to your horse, you'll find that Nami has had her mane braided and she's been brushed and given some sugar cubes in your absence. And the master servant will give a bow and say, "Your horse was tended to at the request of Master Tullius."
Thank you
He gives a nod.
very much.
And you leave the estate of Zednius. Lots to think about. Well, while you were doing that, the rest of your party was just casually riding southward with this giga fan. It's been a exhausting journey. This man has said Father Rixion's name no less than 100 times during the early morning, asking him questions, badgering him about specific battles. Father Rixion, how you feeling about all this? What do you think about this young scribe who's badgering you for every detail of your relatively, I'm not gonna say
I think
boring,
if he ever asks about fights I've died in, that's probably a touchy subject. But other ones
that's
are...
literally the first thing he'll probably ask about when
Yeah.
you died at Faria.
I'll just talk about how gruesome dying is and how
Yeah.
it's not fun.
Yeah, he is fascinated. Yeah, he tries to take out his little notebook to jot things down, but his horse is bouncing too much. And at around noon, as you guys take a short rest to eat some food and drink some out of your water skins, Renesmee will come riding hard along the Imperial Highway and catch up with you guys.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, how was your
Good of you
visit?
to catch up with us.
Yes.
Everything fine?
Did you get what you were looking
Alright
for?
then.
Yep.
Okay.
Renesmee is clearly not in a talking mood.
Yeah, the
okay?
young scribe goes back to asking Father Rixion. He says, "All right, now, when the blade was plunged into your stomach when you were on the
What the-
plains, how did that feel?"
That's enough.
That's
Hey,
that's
hey,
a bit
leave
much.
Leave him be.
Fine,
Christ.
fine, I'm sorry. I just, there's not many men who have been brought back by the Almighty twice.
Maybe
You ever
one
had
day
a
I'll.
really bad moment in your life?
How do people get biographies or autobiography memoirs or anything like
Yeah,
that? Okay,
certainly.
perhaps I'll write one day that you can read.
My fear is that you find yourself slain in a battle against the foe of the Empire, and your great story is never recorded.
Oh, you're saying that there's a foe powerful enough to defeat one of the greatest warriors of our day?
Well, he's already died
Awesome.
twice.
Oh.
Got him.
No, he does.
Got it.
Rixiani, he has you there. He has you there.
And that'll be what happens. That is the way of Aurelian Soul's will.
Amen.
He sighs heavily and says, I mean no offense by it, truly, Father Rixion. I'd only learned of you during the Galentine War, but the more I learn about your past, you seem to be one of the most fascinating living servants of the Empire. And I know that perhaps these questions are uncomfortable, but future generations should remember the name of the man who struck such fear in the foes of the Empire.
Is he writing any of this down?
Now you guys are
what do
stopped
you-
for noon. He is starting to write stuff down, yeah.
Is he
okay.
how are you going to spread word of me? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I could publish. It's not my job or anything, but if you would, volunteer a bit of time, maybe perhaps a couple weeks, talk about your childhood, the battles you've engaged in, the victories you've won for the Empire. My scribe
Are there established writers?
No.
Like I okay.
There's no Mithdosian Democritus?
Well, there is, because he's just a freelance writer. He's a freelance playwriter, so yeah, there's plenty of those.
Yeah. I'd probably prefer to have it with someone with a little bit more notoriety.
Yeah,
if I'm
not a
gonna do
random
memoir
scribe who's
type-
not even an author. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
just some bozo.
How do you phrase that in a nice way?
Get some of your work published first, and then we can talk.
He wilts very heavily. After that brief break, you continue writing. The vibes coming from Renesmee are abysmal. I would say, solid D tier vibes. She's not
Oh yeah.
talking. Yeah, she's normally the most bubbly of the group, probably alongside Grania, and she is, very quiet. Eventually, though, you continue southward. You cross the Fetori River, and you approach the town of Torsana. As you guys are approaching, after you cross the bridge of the Fetori River, the scribe here starts to talk about sort of the specifics of the events. But most of it is just a repeat of what he told you at the end. He just likes babbling, but he'll be like, yeah, this guy arrived in his cart and sort of suckered in them all with their performance and then talked about the weapons. But there's not much new information to be gained. And slowly, the town of Torsana comes into view. It's pretty big. It's not city-sized, that's why it's not, full-size token on the map, but it's like 6,000 people, and it's at the meeting of the Loricon and Fetori rivers. So it's in a really good spot to be, very prosperous. Of course, no walls, a small Imperial watchtower that would hold the garrison, and the Quaestor's mansion is made out of stone, which makes it already, one of the nicest buildings you've come across. And you guys begin to ride into the village, and the scribe says, as you guys are entering the outskirts, he says, so what's our strategy? Divide and conquer? Confront him outright? Take his weapons?
I look to the two people that have already messed with this guy. Is he dangerous?
We don't
That's
know.
a good question. I suppose we don't really know, do we?
He's definitely
Potentially.
capable of being dangerous. When we met him, he had some pretty strange.
As judges, we
Knowledge
can
that
just
he
kind of
should have
detain
possessed.
anyone we want, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just detain him, and if he
Yeah, we
resists,
should.
I have a feeling this will be like, what was that
The
one
bar
guy?
all
that
over
could-
again.
Yeah.
Huba the
afraid
Fair.
you-
Uber the fair.
Yeah,
I'm afraid it'll turn into another Hooba situation.
the Huba incident.
Then if you have
Yeah.
the opportunity to cast a silencing spell.
do
Best
I
I got
have
is
silence?
sleep spell.
Keep that one ready for
I
sure.
don't have silence.
Nor do
Honestly, if you can, probably just sleep him on site.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit extreme, even for judges. That's just before saying anything about detaining them, just dropping the sleep spell is kind of crazy.
I mean, you can explain
No,
afterwards.
Yeah, because I don't want him to say we detain him and he immediately fucking dimension doors 500
Pulls
feet
out his
away, goes
teleport
invisible,
scroll.
and is gone in the wind.
That's fair. I was just saying that's kind of crazy to just instant sleep someone.
Got
That's
an
wild.
innate
not gonna
casted
hold up
dimension
in-
door.
That's not gonna hold up in core, okay? Just drop.
I mean,
I
we
don't
already,
That's fair.
We will
if we
preemptive
don't want
strike
to
this
do
bitch.
an actual investigation of the weapons and stuff to determine, but then yeah, this is how we detain him as easy as possible.
I think we detain him first and then we investigate the weapons.
Well, if we're doing that, then what Harkon said might actually matter. Because if we detain him first this way and then there's nothing wrong, it's really bad for us.
Except we can totally argue why we would do this.
It's one thing that I'm just saying, casting a spell
You
on
can
someone out
argue
of the
it
blue
doesn't
before you've
necessarily mean-
spoken to them
yeah.
even once is kind of wild, even for judges.
Even though we have experiences with this guy?
Yeah, but you didn't get him you didn't cite him, you didn't get him in trouble. Literally, Maximus quote.
If we
said,
had
"You're
more
totally
solid
fine."
evidence, then I think you could argue it in court that this person may be potentially dangerous, but based off of our current information, I don't know if they would necessarily buy that. I think you could argue it out on their side.
Okay.
Well, the scribe is still looking at you. So, Quaestor, are we gonna confront him directly? Take his weapons?
Yeah, do we want to
Think
go
so.
recruit the local contubernium first?
The problem is he might catch the wind of that and then flee.
We could also confront him directly, and I just have sleep readied for if he tries to do anything.
Yeah,
And then that would
I
be a
think
good
that's
excuse,
probably
is
the
that
best
we can
idea.
argue that he tried to cast something we weren't sure what
I
it
mean,
was. So we went
If
with
we're
sleep.
worried he's so powerful, the five of us can't handle him. Why do we think a simple sleep spell is gonna put him down?
It's not about him being so powerful that we can't handle him in a fight. It's about him being powerful enough and quick enough on the acting that he can get away. Even a low-level caster, if he has the right spells prepared, he could get away from us, and make us at least be a major nuisance to catch up to for a few days. But I'd like to avoid that.
Also, it is 13d8, so he's got to have a lot of HP to not get slept.
Yeah, it's an average of like 40 something.
It's a good point. Good point, I suppose.
Do we
The
think he
scribe
could
nods
be
and
part
says-
of that? Well, I don't want to say it within earshot of this guy.
Who is here, yeah. And he says, if you want to confront him directly, I know where his cart is. We could just roll up, do some evil fighting against him.
I suppose one of us could pose as a potential buyer as well.
This is not going to start out as a fight. Let's make that clear. It could potentially turn into one, but we're not coming in
Nuts.
Do we
there.
have any verification this guy is even who he says he is?
Well, why don't we try this? One of us can pretend to be a buyer, right? And then the second that he offers, like, oh yes, I do have this thing, then we have a reason to sleep him.
Okay,
Oh,
but the
then-
items he's selling aren't like...
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, if you want to go down the legal route, like actually arrest him and properly do all this, you'd want to prove that he's doing an illegal magical auction without the Department of
Yeah,
Magic's
I was
involvement.
gonna
And then you could arrest him.
suggest next we have two options for that: either invisibility spell or we have Renesmee's wild shape or wild shift.
Yeah.
We can try to spy on him
I
for
like-
a bit and get more information.
I suppose there's no way to prove that it isn't actually like. Yeah, never mind.
Well, there's tons of ways to prove the items aren't what he claims they are if you do like identifier.
Oh. There it is. Yeah.
And I will say at least the argument for wild shape over invisibility is generally wizard or magic types are probably going to be more aware of, or maybe have preventions against invisibility stuff. But we can still try that instead. It's up to you guys.
Okay, well, the scribe is sort of scratching his head.
I
So,
can just
we're
turn
not going
into,
to
like,
confront him?
I can just turn into what's a bug that flies around that isn't annoying.
Isn't
That
annoying.
you'd like. Yeah, because if I
dragonfly.
A butterfly?
I said dragonfly, but oh, that works too.
Yeah, no,
Um,
listed
The
another
ladybug.
Oh,
Yeah,
ladybug.
ladybug
True.
is another
Yeah.
one.
I'll be a
Those-
ladybug. I'll
Those
turn into
really
a ladybug.
fat, fuzzy bumblebees that don't bother you too much.
But they
Yeah,
don't
but those make
typically
noise.
like.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't typically just
wait,
sit
and
somewhere. A
dragonflies
ladybug. I have
don't?
ladybugs in my fucking house right now because it's their season. They
Um,
just sit there.
Ladybugs?
Well, do you want to discuss exactly what the plan is before you turn into a ladybug? Because
Yeah,
communication
of
will be
course.
difficult before that, or after that.
Yes. Yes.
The scribe says you can turn into a ladybug.
Yes, I'm a druid.
Yes.
Is that some sort of variant wizard?
Not
Sure.
quite.
Is it?
It's magical.
Well, yeah. So, okay, I see. What? It's just druid. That sounds kind of like the Deadwood Conclave, but you seem far too upstanding to be involved with them.
Nothing to do with the dead one.
Sir.
That's good.
I'm not sure she could be any
but
further
yes.
from being involved with them.
I can turn into any kind of critter.
That she's
And
seen
I think
before.
Could you turn
Yes.
into a hypnotic toad like from the fairy tales?
if I saw one.
My goodness.
And they'd have to be real critters. Nothing.
I mean, I think
magical.
they're real. I've read them in half a dozen books.
How
on
old
fake
is this
compendiums.
guy?
He's like
Count.
19.
Ah, okay. That explains a lot more.
This guy's a fucking child.
I thought he was like a 43
Me
year
too.
old guy.
That's funny. No, yeah, he's like 19.
Yes, well, I can't turn into a hypnotic toad unless I've seen one with my very own eyes. In the
That's
flesh.
unfortunate.
And some creatures might look like beasts, but they're magical nature, so they don't quite qualify.
Can you turn into a
little
dragon?
complicated.
You could fear him, frighten him, make him confess his little scheme against my
That
town.
would be one of the ones. Dragons are special.
Oh.
I
Granny's
think
gonna try to
that
get Randy's
actually
attention.
I could theoretically, out of character, turn into a dragon if I was like a high enough.
Nope.
Yeah, I believe
Dragons
at,
aren't beasts.
I believe at 14th level. The reason some druids can turn into it is because they get access to the shape change spell, which allows you to turn
I mean,
into
Polymorph-
dragons.
true polymorph exists.
Well, true polymorph,
But, like-
sure.
Kind of.
yeah.
Granny has my attention.
Yes, Granny is snapping.
She's gonna sign. I don't think this person's gonna be very helpful.
No.
Yeah,
he
no.
is like a child. And I address everyone else in common. What would you like to do? Would you like me to be a ladybug? And if so, do you want me to just follow him around all day? How do I let you know if I've seen something illegal? What will you all be doing?
Waiting for you to see something illegal.
One of you could go up to him and talk about this purchase, perhaps ask to see it, and I can just follow him throughout that whole encounter, whatever he does, just be on his trail.
He seemed to be incredibly cocky and confident, so maybe Father Exian could walk up to him and go like, yo, you have my comrades? I'd like to, confirm this is real.
I'd start with something smaller, because that's spooky.
The
so
the
high
scribe
risk
sort of
then
speaks
you
up
like-
and says, actually, that may be wise. Father Ixion knew these people in life. Scare the wits out of this man.
Well, I mean, I think it's a good idea, but for the he's made it known that he's selling to you, right? Or did you just find out about this?
He only speaks to the Quaestors about it because they're the only ones with money around here.
Oh. Well, Father Rixion, do you have something you could show him that, says you have money?
Well,
You're the
Maximus-
one with money here.
Yeah. And you know.
Well, question: whenever he met with Severus and Maximus last time, does he know that you guys are judges?
Yes.
Okay.
That was one of the reasons he wanted to con them so bad. Which is like, oh, if I get the judge endorsement.
Which he literally
Oh,
did.
really?
Maximus is
Yeah,
like,
he
yeah, that
totally
sounds
got
pog.
If you're
What was he
already
doing
on
again?
his side,
He was
it's like
selling
a
a panacea, cure of all disease.
Oh yeah, because
Oh, wasn't it like an
yeah,
oil?
that's right.
Yeah,
Pog's
it was
Soldier,
basilisk
that was the
oil.
one-
Oh
Based.
god, I fucking remember that.
We're in a
And
bit.
then-
It was a bit of a weird situation then, because if you go up to him and he thinks you already support him, it could go against or could go on our side where he just like tells you about
It
his new
could.
shit. But the other side of it is if he knows this shit is like risky already, or if he wants to be more careful, he may flip knowing that you're a judge. So.
Well, I
Yeah.
could pretend to entirely not recognize him. And knowing him, because he is a swindler and B, really cocky, he may try to be like, I'm going to get one over on this guy because he completely doesn't remember who I am because he's a dumb soldier, right? And then that'll just take it away with his natural predatory instincts.
I love the way you describe this guy. This is so
Yes,
funny.
I think that the Maximus being sent there is a good idea.
And then
And I
I
can
also
just
have,
watch from his perspective, you know?
obvious signs of wealth, armor and
Mhm.
more armor and fancy weapons. Is there
Riding on
anything I have
Mickey.
on me that isn't mithril? Warhammer, lance, shield, plate armor.
If we ever
did I
get-
fit out?
You outfitted
fit
Mickey as
Mickey
well.
with-
Yeah. If we ever get
in
like our
mithril
commission
plate?
of Maximus, it's just gonna be him like glowing fucking white because of all the mithril he wears.
No one shine a bright light.
Yeah, the reflection's gonna fucking blind your enemies.
Bang!
Yeah. Okay, I mean we have a
So,
plan. We have the.
we're gonna go with that then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
I'll just follow him no matter what.
The scribe will nod and
Um,
say, "Yes, and I can be your faithful sidekick and note down what he says during the encounter."
Scribe is staying here.
I have a name,
And
What is it?
Vernus.
Vernus?
I introduced myself.
I apologize. I have bad short-term memory. Vernus?
I'm just stupid.
lovingly, you are staying here.
I understand. You know,
But-
as long as somebody deals with it, I suppose. And Father Rixion will be staying back as well, right?
Exactly.
That's
You will
good.
have all the more time to speak with Father
Not to worry,
Rixion.
I shall regale you with the glorious tale of our bravery and wit.
And the scribe will, hop off his horse and he'll say, "Well, Father Rixion, please come with me, and my mother will be thrilled to see you."
I'll go with him because if he has proof that he's like an actual person that lives in the,
Sure.
his
Grania and
mouth.
Hecko, Grania and Severus, the two of you didn't particularly have any involvement in the whole infiltration plan, so you just follow the scribe and Father Rixion.
Based.
That was a question.
Um,
Yeah.
If
Sure she'll be
they
thrilled.
want me nearby to have the sleep spell ready, then I could just try to be nearby. But yeah, it's up to them if they want.
What's
me
your
to.
stealth? Like, how good are you at stealth?
Oh, yeah.
Not very. I only have a 1 or +1.
I could make you invisible.
Oh, yeah,
I
Severus
suppose-
is god tier at stealth.
I suppose we should have you guys, like, somewhat nearby in case he tries to book it or fight, right? In case he discovers
Probably,
us
yeah.
somehow. Because what's the plan once we... Because I'm trying to get him to admit to his illegal auction, right? So what's the plan if he does? Do I just fucking bust him there and then? Or... And you guys are waiting somewhere to
ideally-
help?
It's up to you whether you want to leave and then we come back and do a proper confrontation, and then I have my sleep spell ready, or I can just be nearby and then if he tries to do anything, sleep him.
Be aware
I
that the
will
scribe
always
said that
just stay
he's
with him.
working with the Department of Magic to legalize it. So
Well, that
Uh,
means he hasn't legalized it
that
yet.
does mean that, yeah.
So...
Also, the auction
Yeah.
hasn't happened yet, so.
Also true, but isn't just like conspiring to do a crime still
Well, he's
a
not
crime?
conspiring to do a crime. He's conspiring to get the Department of Magic involved. If you actually want to get him on this, you need to like fully entrap him, get him to try to sell you one of them before getting approval from the Department of Magic.
Isn't that what he's been doing?
No. He's just been like drumming up hype to buy these questionable items from him under an auction that he's trying to get the Department of Magic to co-sign.
Oh, well, if you flash
Okay.
him like 1,000 gold, don't actually, because he'll just fucking steal it. But make it seem
Rick
like
Bozo, if he
you'll
tries
do
to
it.
steal it, I just bonk him on the head. What
Yeah.
an idiot! He tried. Good shot.
All right. Well, Father Rixion
And then
and
we'll
this
have him
scribe
on that.
walk off to his mother's home. Renesmee
Exactly.
turns
Both
into a
of those,
ladybug.
Yogi and Dodo.
Renesmee's arms break and shrink, and her back, knits and reforms. There's like this like Animorphs halfway transformation state where she's like a human-sized insect. It's literally the most horrific shit you've seen in your entire life. But then her body begins to shrink. There's this popping, sort of groaning, stretching noise as her body gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and soon there is a little dot-sized ladybug. It is genuinely one of the most disgusting things you've seen in your entire life.
I fly up.
Renesmee, I know you
Maximus's
can't
shoulder.
respond to me, but that was horrible. Awful.
And-
Worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I
And
can't really.
remember, I fought in war for like 17 years. And that by far takes it.
Yes.
Or-
The world is so big when I am a ladybug on Maximus's shoulder.
It really is, yeah. Okay, so Maximus, you just begin to clop into the town in search of this cart. Once you get there, we'll talk about Severus and Grania being stealthy. So you begin to clop into town, Maximus, glittering, and obviously, people glance. No one, talks to you, but plenty of people.
Oh, I take okay.
What was that noise?
You might fuck you would have fucked me on this. I
Yeah?
take my judge's badge off. God damn it.
I absolutely would have. Yeah, you're just okay. Yeah, you put that underneath your breastplate. And you track stairs as you, glittering with mithril, clop through the town. And it's very easy to find his cart because it's set up in the central square. It looks how you remember it. The cart the wood has been dyed blue, which you don't even know how he would have done that. There's a curtain draped across one side, and sort of sewn into the curtain is the title, Uncle Zeno's Fantastic Traveling Cart. And in front of it, there's this little pop-up shop. There is beautiful paintings, alchemical and herbal remedies, the familiar basilisk oil, but a couple of new ones. There is pixie tears and frogman goo. And then there is the man himself. He's currently speaking to what looks to be a middle-aged woman. He has colorful dark blue robes with gold trim, and there's little stars and sort of suns. It's a fancier costume than he had last time, and each of the stars and suns is red or yellow or orange. And he has a beard and his hair that are both dyed sort of a dark blue. Again, very odd. And he's just speaking to this woman, and then on one of the tables you see 5 weapons that are sort of gently wrapped in cloth.
I want to flit off of Maximus's shoulder and then just land on the top of the cart.
Yeah, you can hear his conversation with the woman. It's in Mythos. He's saying, yes, and this should take care of all those problems. I mean, I know that menopause is rough for women your age, but this should solve all the cramps, all the trouble, all the hormonal issues. Don't even worry about it. Just make sure you take this goo, lather it into the interior of your mouth once every evening. This should last you at least a month. And the woman seems to nod a couple of times, and she hands over a gold coin, which is a fucking fortune for, a random villager. And the man collects the gold coin. He gives her this very, oh, I'm so sorry for you, pats her on the shoulder. She walks away with a little container of frogman goo.
I wondered what frogman do.
And Severus, are you making Grania invisible so that the two of you can be at the edge of the town square watching?
Did you want me to? I never got the answer.
I mean, maybe he can see invisibility or something, or has some funkiness.
Yeah, I don't think
Or
it's
maybe
needed.
not.
Okay.
Is the
work-
place his card is at? Is there anything within vision range where I could just hide and observe?
Yeah, since he's in the middle, on the edge of the town square, you guys could be in any of the alleyways between homes, looking out into the town square.
I'll just do that.
Okay, so for you, it's going to be a stealth check. Grania's stealth is not very good. That's why I don't know if you want her to do it.
Yeah, it's only +1.
So what's Grania doing while they're doing all this?
But what if she stays out of sight so she doesn't have to
16
roll a
alone.
stealth
How
check,
far
but
is the range of
inside of
sleep?
me?
If she's going to be out of sight, then she will not be in range to do the sleep thing that she needs to do, within a reasonable time span.
Yeah, I think we would give it up on that. I don't think we're going to confront it.
Okay, then yeah, if you guys
It's
just
a
want to be
90-foot range with a 20-foot cube, so
yeah,
we're 10 feet
but
away.
it's a big open square. So if you want to be it where you don't need to make a stealth check at all, then you're out of sight.
Oh yeah.
So you're pretty far away, buried in between these two cots, houses on the edge, whereas Hecko's basically in between the two houses, glancing out towards the square. And Maximus, you begin to clip-clop over to the man, and he seems to look at you and sort of adopt a thinking pose, stroking his long blue beard. Then he'll say, "Judge Maximus."
I'm sorry, have we met before?
Yes, we did, on the road to Mithdosica. You, co-signed my wonderful basilisk oil.
Oh, that's right.
You know, I made 50 gold at that plantation.
That's good for you, I'm glad.
Yeah,
But what did you do
wonderful
again?
work for an entrepreneur. My name is Uncle Zeno.
Yes. What did... I see you have some new stock.
Oh,
I'll look
yes.
in wonderment at all of the nonsense he has.
Yes, pixie tears, frogman goo, personally collected, the classic basilisk oil, and some more
Yes.
expensive offerings for the finer things.
Oh, I'll go and start peering at all the weapons.
Yeah,
how about all these?
as you go
I
over to the
popped
weapons,
up
he says,
Mickey's
"Oh,
since then.
well, those aren't quite on sale yet, but these paintings, these are painted by the absolutely incredible Sartano of Santorum."
Look at me and, tell yourself if I'm interested in paintings or in these
Judge Maximus, you misunderstand.
finely crafted.
You don't get the
weapons.
paintings for yourself. You get them to show off to your friends. When they hear Sartano of Santorum, you have one of his rare exclusive paintings, they'll think, how did he get it? Who are his connections? Could he perhaps have a patron, getting him closer to Senator? Who knows?
And who is that?
Why, the most famous painter of Cispontar Solaria.
I just look at him with empty
That's all right. You
eyes.
don't need to know who it is. As long as your guests do, that's all that matters. And since they're in proper society, I assure you they will. It'd be like asking a Delian if they know the tales of Democritus the Fair. Sorry, you don't probably know who that is either. The point is, people of culture know things of common culture. They know connections, stories, and they'll recognize those paintings, and
I
it'll be
see,
a conversation piece.
Yes. You said they weren't quite on sale yet?
The
I go
weapons.
back to staring, enamored at the weapons.
No, there's going to be an auction.
When?
I think we're planning it for about 3 weeks from now. Quaestors are coming from near and far. I think even a praetor will be attending. It'll be tough competition for you, but...
Oh, do you have any idea what prices we're looking at?
Well, I mean... Actually, and he gives a smile.
If
Pick
they're
up the
quaestors.
mace. I think you'll understand
Ooh.
where their cost comes from.
All right then. I'll pick up the mace.
Yeah, as you pick up the mace, you hear a voice in your head. Why do you hold me, disgusting heathen?
Why did it insult me?
The Zeno looks at you and says, "That there is the soul of High Necromancer Domitus. A shard of it, not
What?
his full one.
What?
Bound to a weapon.
I'm holding a chunk of Dominus?
Yes, indeed, a foe of the Empire, one of the mightiest in a century, bound to a mace. He can say a couple of other things if you wish."
Hey, you! Why did you do all those bad things? I'll shake it aggressively, hit it on
Grovel and weep. Your empire will die.
This feels like watching Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants interact. Why did you do those bad things?
Oh. I thought it was more like pulling Woody's string and having him say there's a snake in his boot. That's what I got out of it.
Shut up,
Oh
you!
my gosh,
and
it's like the
I'll
magic
I'll hit it a
conch.
couple more times on something.
Yeah, you hit the mace on the table, and Zeno
Put
walks
it
over and
back on
says,
the table.
"Please spare the table."
No, yes. I'll put it back on the table. Do the,
Either
What was
way,
the thing?
each of these weapons is bound to a similar hero of the Galentine War.
Oh.
And, they can't now... They're not fully complete. There's one last part of the arcane ritual I must complete, but once it's done, and it will be done whenever someone purchases it, you'll be able to have full conversations, hear their side of things, perhaps understand why High Necromancer Domitus was defeated so soundly, figure out tools. I have even been asking the Department of War to come place a bid. Perhaps they could figure out the location of Jagding Keep. Put an end to the Necromortis once and for all.
Holy
Yeah,
shit,
the
this guy has
location
ChatGPT on his maces?
The location of hidden weapons or long-lost artifacts, things of that nature?
He nods.
Oh. How? I'll look around.
I hope you'll be in the area in 3 weeks.
Unfortunately, I will not.
That's
You
a
know,
tragedy.
They're sending me far away. I'll lean in real close. How much to buy one of them? Right here, right now.
I appreciate you testing me, Lord Judge, but that would be illegal.
Do I look like I'm from the Department of Magic?
No, you look like an Imperial Judge that I distinctly recall meeting before.
Maybe I will find a way to get back here in 3 weeks.
I hope you do. Let's just say some of them have rather juicy gossip. One of the blades, and he points towards a sword, that is the spirit of Justinia the Virtuous, and while we may remember her as a patron saint of martyrdom, a woman who sacrificed her life, there are some sleazy details coming from that sword.
I pick it up.
As you pick up the sword, you hear a voice in your head. Traveler, be gentle.
Uh-oh.
Why?
If you swing me too hard, I might break.
I swing it as hard as I humanly can.
Yeah, you strike a table, it bites into the wood, the weapon says nothing, and Zeno jumps backward and says, "Good God, sir, my table!"
I think you'll manage.
That's not cheap. 5 pence to get this built for me.
5 pence.
Yes?
Take it out of the 50 gold I made you.
Fair enough.
I'll put it back on the table. Wow, quite the impressive stock.
Oh yes, another necromancer as well. Again, if only the great departments would listen to me, I think this would be a great treasure trove for them. For a fair price, of course.
Yes. You said you are talking to someone from the Department of Magic to get the whole thing approved, yes?
Yes, you know how bureaucracy is, but I think they'll get here in time.
If, perhaps, that process could be hastened, could you hold the auction earlier, perhaps?
I see no reason why not.
All right, who's your contact in the department?
Well, a good gentleman never kisses and tells.
Well, sure, but I have influence and pull. Perhaps I could move it up to a time
Well,
I'm
then,
still here.
Write a letter to the
Bureaucratic
governor and
wheels
parlor.
moving.
Perhaps getting some government money involved in this auction would really stir up some excitement.
Government money.
Not too much excitement, but just enough.
Too much? Would more excitement not drum up prices?
Well, when prices start to reach a certain amount, people get very touchy about the merchandise that they're buying. I think for these items, a couple 100 gold would be just fine.
For the soul of a high necromancer?
Well, of
You are
course.
very
I'm no
generous.
powerful arcanist. If I could do it, anyone could.
Oh, I see. I see.
Either way, I think a nice local auction, which, you know, if you could reach out to the governor, have him send a representative from the Department of Magic, just stamp a sheet I have for him, all can be taken care of. We just don't want any, you know, people, arch-magi or anything like that taking times out of their busy schedule.
No, Archmagi have much too much money. I would like to. These flying pieces. Would be no good for me. All right. Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
And about the paintings, or perhaps you're, with all your travel, you're feeling a rash begin to come on? Basilisk oil still is my best-selling product.
What is that? Did I learn what that did again?
It's a panacea, good judge. Solves all your ails of the physical nature. Can't cure illnesses of the mind. It's a recipe that I gathered from a wonderful alchemist.
What about the rest of this? I see you have some new additions.
Yes, and he walks over. This here is pixie tears, gathered not by myself, but by a trusted contact within the Feywood. And these here should solve any sleeping troubles you may have if you find yourself remembering old tragedies on the battlefield, dead comrades. This can ease you
I will
quite a bit.
warp into that 1,000-yard stare thing for like
Yeah,
5 seconds.
he'll nod and say, yes, and this can give you the best night's sleep you've ever had. And, well, the frogman goo is not really for a man of your stature. For,
Yes. I heard your conversation with him earlier.
yes, it's more for the older people of the population.
Oh, multiple uses, I see.
Oh, of course.
How much is the pixie dust?
Well, of course, for such a wonderful benefactor of my little enterprise here, I'd be willing to reduce the price to 1 gold.
1 gold, you say?
Mm-hmm.
And
For a
how
vial,
many,
of course.
How many sleeps will a vial get you?
Well, you're supposed to put at least 1 drop on your forehead before bed, so 140 probably, somewhere in there, at least a half a year.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
Quite the deal. Quite the deal indeed.
I live to serve the public.
Yes, yes, I can really see that. Well, I'll see what I can do to get your auction approved quickly, and then I'll be back. I'll buy some merchandise then.
He gives a nod and a broad smile.
And I'll hop back up on Mickey and fucking clickety clap on off.
Okay. Renesmee, you were obviously there for all of that. After Maximus clops away, he just goes to, drape the tablecloth over the 2 big fucking holes in his table that Maximus cut, or like the biting of the sword and the smash of the mace. He covers that up with tablecloth, and he just begins to busy and clean up his little selling area, pop-up shop.
Interesting. He's done for the day.
I mean, no, he's not done. He's just cleaning up his shop, making sure it's all like nice looking and stuff. Because Maximus did a little bit of a number on the presentation of it.
Did they discuss where they were going? The other people?
Your own party members?
Yeah.
Yeah. Severus and Granier are watching from the edge of the clearing, and Father Ixion got dragged to go meet that guy's mom.
Got it. So I just want to watch him for longer.
Okay, well, Maximus, you clip-clop away, and then you hop off your horse, and the long way you go into the alleyway where Severus and Grania are.
Well, that was no good. You recognized me immediately.
Tell you anything interesting?
Oh, standard swindler stuff. Couldn't get him to sell me the items right then and there, though. So,
But he fully says it's like part of people's souls and stuff. He's not.
Oh, yes, it did talk to me. I will give him that. The one yelled at me, and the other one told me not to swing it too hard. Because it would
Hakon, what were the crimes of the High Necromancer? What was his name?
Domitus?
Too long
yeah.
to list.
Yeah, basically what Peach just said. Like, I don't know, if you really had to quantify it, it'd be like 70,000 counts of treason for each citizen of the Empire he killed. Yeah, genocide.
Fucking
Yeah,
necromancy, torturing
Okay.
people, eating babies.
Okay,
All
I got
those
it, I
things.
got it. I'm gonna go over to the booth.
Okay, yeah, you exit
I
from the
think I have an
alleyway.
interesting idea.
You start to you approach the booth, and the man gives a smile and says, "Greetings, Lord Judge. You look familiar."
Huh? Hear that all the time.
No, you're quite familiar. In fact, you're a colleague of Lord Maximus, right?
Yeah, we're in the area. Heard you were in
I
the
don't
area.
recall your name, I'm afraid.
That's alright. I'm sure you'll remember it.
Well, I assume you spoke to your colleague. Is there any particular item you'd like to buy?
I'm really curious about this mace.
Yes, of course, the mace of High Necromancer Dominus. That's what everyone seems to be curious. Yeah, I'm back.
The mace of deafening
the
yourself
mace.
mid-sentence.
Yeah, I misclicked. The mace of High Necromancer Dominus. Many people are interested in this item.
And there's genuinely a part of its soul in there, right?
As certain as I can be as an Arcanist.
Then hereby with my authority as a judge, I will detain the mace for the crimes of High Necromancer Dominus.
He looks at you.
Based!
Huh. But just the mace.
Well, there was another necromancer, was there not?
Well, he was actually already paid for those punishments. He was slain by the legendary Father Ixion.
Like it's avoiding punishments if his soul's still there.
Genius.
I think I'll be taking him in for questioning anyway.
He looks at the table. He looks at you. He seems to think about it for like 5 seconds. Well, it's admittedly, it is a tragic loss, but at least the other 3 will remain. They did no crimes. They were faithful servants of the Empire.
Naturally.
And, he kind of shrugs. It sucks to lose them, but, like, you're an Imperial judge. He's not going to argue with you. So he will reach over to the mace, and he sort of winces because it talks in your head whenever you touch it. And then he reaches over and grabs
Oh yeah,
a
I'm not touching
dagger.
that thing, like, directly. I'm, like, holding a glove or something to it, or, like, a cloth.
You have mage hand or
sure.
ledger.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, the glove and the thing will work. Yeah. Yeah, if you don't actually touch it, it doesn't work. So,
Yeah,
you'll
just
put
in case this is, like, at least some,
Oh.
like, somewhat imbued with something weird.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
don't want to touch
He'll
it.
give you the cloth that they are being held in, and he says, "Oh, and if you detain these suspects for longer than a week, I will reach out to the Department of Civility, unless you charge them with official crimes, of course."
Of course.
All right. And he seems to be in deep thought as you take away his mace and his dagger.
Fucking got him.
Dude!
I mean, yeah, we discussed this at the start of the campaign. Corpses are charged for crimes in Mithdosica. It just is what it is. They do that. So,
It would
Seems
be
a legal
interesting.
basis.
yeah.
It would be interesting if everything went ahead for the auction and then the items were detained for an extra week. That would be like crushing for him. But I'm not sure it would solve anything for us.
So,
either way, I'm...
Zebras, yeah, you return back to the alleyway. These 2 items in cloth.
I would flip down to his shoulder at that point.
Okay,
I'd
okay,
see
so you
what I
leave
need.
the booth. All right. Yeah,
Did
you
he-
fit
did he
onto.
sell- Did he sell you those?
Oh no, I just, took them.
Took them, Giga Chad.
What do you mean you took? I could have done that all along. What? You just took them?
Well, they're necromancers, they're criminals. I detained them.
Oh, you detained them.
Assuming, if he stands by his words that they're real.
I'm gonna flip through my my book of laws and also the musings on the Summa Theologica to see what we could charge these things with.
Literally anything. I mean, like Peach was saying. Yeah.
It's more of, is death considered like
No,
be all
no, it's
end
not.
all
Yeah.
punishment?
No.
Oh, so we can absolutely just like straight up charge him with even
Absolutely.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
If these... Well, first I'm gonna start casting Identify on them. The whole, like, not touching it was pretend. I'm not believing any of this, and I'm
Oh
casting
wait, you touch it?
Identify.
Which one are you touching
Yeah.
first?
The dagger.
All right, you touch the dagger, and you hear a sort of slimy voice in your head. Your peace shall break, fool.
Yeah. And I'll start casting Identify.
All right. How long does it take?
10 minutes.
I wouldn't do that in this alleyway if I were you. Don't. We can do it later.
Oh yeah, let's move a bit further away.
Let's do it. Let's do it later.
Do you
A
guys
little
want
bit
to go
later.
in search of Father
I have-
Rixion?
I have some more questions first.
First, I want to test something. I want to, like...
It's later. God damn it. That'll take more time than my questions. And besides, we might be able to nab him here and now.
That's funny.
Sure.
All right, is like possession of, I don't even know what this, like possession of evil spirit or something? A crime?
Harboring of
Harboring a
wanted
criminal.
criminals.
Oh,
You could try to-
harboring criminals.
You could try to charge him with that, but there is no precedent for that. You'd just be making it up.
Yeah,
There is
but
not
that's
to
real
say
funny.
that. Yeah, not to say you couldn't make that argument. It's just that there has never been someone convicted of like a graveyard master has never been convicted of harboring a criminal when they like charged a corpse with a crime. They don't. That doesn't
I
happen.
guess. But he like summoned the criminal
But, like,
and then
Well,
okay,
it
and then
depends.
I
If
suppose
you
that-
think he summoned a corpse, or like, then that you could just charge him with necromancy, which is a crime. But that is not really what he said. So yeah.
Hmm.
What did he say he did? Like, like what did,
He was
sorry,
very
what did
vague.
tell-
You
what
may
did
want to
tell me he
clarify.
said?
All
I think
he
we
said
may
is that
want
a
to
shard
detain
of
him
their
on
soul.
suspicion of necromancy.
You can do that, but I mean, yeah, you can detain him for like a brief amount of time, but you don't have any
Yeah,
evidence.
just question him,
Sure. Yeah.
No, we need to, before we detain him, we need like a rock solid. Because at this point, I think he sort of knows why we're here.
I have a
And
question.
now this
Yes,
is where the
Peach.
mind games.
Is it illegal to lie to a judge?
No, I
I
mean,
don't think so.
Lying under
really?
oath in an actual courtroom would be, but lying to a
Yep.
judge is not inherently illegal. It's
Yeah,
if it's
generally,
in, but
like lying is not a.
yeah, if
crime,
you
right?
do
I
it
think
in
you could
pursuit
tack
of a
on, like,
crime,
inhibiting investigation or that kind of stuff, right?
if you what?
Could you tag it on to other things like inhibiting an investigation?
That most of those particular crimes, funnily enough, weren't really a thing in the Middle Ages. Like, even with all the bureaucracy that Mythosica have, they don't have like they have contempt of court. But they don't have like a impeding an investigation type charge. What they do have is like some horrific penalties for the actual charges. So instead of trying to get him with like lying to an officer, you probably just want to try to get him on like necromancy, which is a death penalty offense or something like that.
I was just
Okay,
wondering,
Working with the
hear me
spirits
out,
of death.
right?
if it was illegal, then we could say, well, it's either you did somehow, like, cause a chain of events that summoned a shard of these souls into these objects, which is illegal,
Why
or
would that be
you're
illegal?
lying to it, because wouldn't it be illegal to just, like, re-summon a shard of a soul that's tied to something
Necessarily.
like
It all depends about the exact procedure. If he brought back their body somehow, which is explicitly necromancy, then he's fucked. Like, it's his life is
Here's
over.
another one. For all of this, he should be a registered spellcaster, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And he even admitted to being
Can
a
we check for
spellcaster in
his?
the conversation.
Yeah, we can
with-
check him for his license.
Well, they don't carry
Surely
those on them.
he doesn't have a.
Yeah, that has. Yeah,
Your
that has
license
to
for
be
that,
like-
mate.
Yeah, you would have to go to
Can
the
you
Department
check
of
with the
Magic and-
Department of Magic for
Yeah,
registered spellcasters?
Absolutely, yeah.
Uncle Zemo, is that his
In
name?
like Parla or something.
Yeah, totally.
Is there even like official documents, as in like a passport for people, like an ID in Mythosica?
No. But if you if you ask the Department of Magic, hey, is there a registered spellcaster under Uncle Zeno or whatever his actual name is, because that's probably a nickname. Then
Yeah,
they can
that's what I'm
confirm.
asking. How do we find out this guy's real name?
You just ask him. If you
Yeah,
okay,
we could be like,
yeah,
hey,
because if he just tells you a wrong name, then you say, "Oh, okay, that name you gave us is not a registered spellcaster, so you're now, violating."
functioned.
Yeah.
I have another idea.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
We just kill him anyway and make something up.
That's crazy. Also to loop back to what you were saying, Peach. I feel like your thought process got cut off.
Oh, just that, like, summoning a shard of a soul of someone highly, like, fucking evil.
Yeah.
Especially if they're able, like, enough that it has sentience.
Yeah.
I
The
would
reason that's not a
imagine
crime is because
Aiding a criminal?
you could try to get him with that, but again, no precedent for it. But the reason that's not a crime is because every time that like Speak with Dead is cast, which is a very common spell throughout the Empire, technically that is necromancy. It's a school of necromancy, it's a spell. But it's just sort of an accepted type of necromancy. Bonding sentient personalities or souls to items is a thing that has happened in Valoros for thousands of years. So even though it is kind of weird if you really think about it, it's not viewed as like illegal. It's not viewed as proper necromancy. Necromancy, the charge is zombies, ghouls, those types of things. Not to say, again, for all of these, you can just arrest him. Like, you can just do this and then not convict him if you really want to just ruin his business here. But if you're trying to get him permanently, then you probably want to get something that'll stick in an actual, barrister's case.
Got it. Okay.
Ace, if these items turn out to be just fake with minor illusions on them,
Yeah.
would that just be like a plain case of fraud that we could get him with?
Basically, yeah, that's where you would call in the Department of Coin, and they would literally fine him into death slavery.
Right. Yeah, I think we start with that route.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe for a second that there's any shred of a soul of people in this.
We get you to identify those, right? Then we give them back to him. And, if they're the actual thing, then, well, fuck, guys. I guess he fucking beat us on that.
That would be insane.
If they're the actual thing, then we're in way bigger trouble.
Then he's like a 20th level wizard.
Yeah.
And we just kind of leave them alone for the rest of eternity. But if much more likely, and if they aren't, we just, because we have a week to hold these things, right? Before he gets to contact the department.
He can contact them whenever he wants. He just gave you a week, so he doesn't seem that concerned.
Oh. Okay. If they're not what they are, if they're not what he says they are, we just go back to Parla, get a Department of Coin administrator, right?
Yep.
And arrest him, Question mark? Is this like an arrestable thing?
Technically not, but it doesn't. Basically, yes. Basically, you'd give him the Department of Coin guy. The Department of Coin guy would level a series of fines based on the severity of the charges, and if he can't pay those on the spot, he would be placed in prison until he could pay it or sells himself into debt slavery.
We immediately imprison him.
Yeah. Also, he'd be sold to a private owner because Mithdosica is, Mithdosica.
Yeah, extremely based. Yes, I'm aware.
We should buy him? That's insane.
Let me should buy him as a clown. Or jester.
Jesus Christ. That's some evil shit, bro. That's evil.
Level 1.
Is this not an evil campaign?
I guess it is. Good point. Might as well fully commit.
Dude's a genius. Okay, that's absolutely what's happening now. Yes, that's fucking mega mind right there.
I was not being serious.
No, you now you are, I guess.
Well, too late. You put the idea out there. How much do debt slaves typically go for?
His debt will probably be it depends, basically.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I have.
break.
We can take a 5-minute break if you want.
Okay, I just have to pee.
Okay, that's fine. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Woo.
All right, welcome back very short break, like 1 minute. But we're still here. Father Ixion is, well, we'll cut to him in a little bit. But the rest of you guys are in an alleyway right now. Renesmee is a ladybug, and you're discussing how to entrap this man.
I think fraud is the way to go.
Okay.
Out him into debt slavery.
Well,
Yeah.
then, I believe, did I already give you a handout on fraud, or do we need to talk about that? I don't think I did give you a thing on fraud. Oh, I did! Holy shit, that's so based. I didn't give you access to it, but I did write one for a different thing.
Oh my god, you did.
Yeah, I wrote this for a totally unrelated session.
What session was that?
I think it was the Huba the Fair. Huba the Fair. I think I wrote
Ah.
it for that.
Oh, yeah, that totally makes sense.
So I'm going to read this to
That's
the,
exactly what this
to the
all
viewers.
is.
Fraud is not just a crime of coin or property, it is a spiritual crime which undermines the foundations of honesty and integrity in the Empire. This is a commentary on the
based.
proceedings by Justius, which, for context, that is a theological law textbook. Fraud is not just a secular crime, it is also a religious crime. There's a bunch of different types. Basically, the facts that you guys will need to prove. Also, this is all in Max. This is Little Law for Dummies book. The facts that you will need to prove are that A, he misled people on what the object he was selling was. That is basically it. That is all you need to prove. And then the Department of Civility or the Department of Coin will be involved here. This would probably be a Department of Coin case. And then he would be brought before a barrister. He would be given a chance to defend himself. And yeah, basically, it's not a severe enough crime that you can just ignore due process, so he would go through the court system.
Yeah, that's fine. I think for this
Yeah.
specific crime, like three judges like sworn oaths would be enough to convict someone in this scenario. Or would-
no.
What else?
What?
What else?
No.
What else would happen?
Oh, well, like the thing, the judge statements doesn't really matter. What you actually need is
Okay.
evidence that he advertised it as one thing and then it was not that thing and it had a potential harm. Like if someone says, I'm going to sell you this board and there's no nails in it and there's a single nail in it, you can't find someone into debt slavery. But if they're making really bold claims about it and it just doesn't match any of those.
All right, so if it's like this has the soul of a long dead high necromancer.
Yeah, how would you
doesn't
prove
end
that
up
it doesn't?
happening.
Yeah, how would you prove that?
Like the identify spell, I feel like would do that. There are, I don't know how magic works, so
That's fair.
that'd be for the magically inclined people to figure out.
Well, Severus
Severus
should
is
identify
the-
it.
Yeah, people with people with. Does that come up on an identify spell?
Well, we'll talk about that
knows?
once we identify it, because we're chilling in this alleyway right
okay.
now. Do we want to identify it here?
No.
Okay, where
I'm
do we
just
want
a
to identify
ladybug,
it then?
so I can't say much.
Yeah, you are indeed a little ladybug.
Let's go to wherever we're setting up camp.
Are ladybugs
How about
red and white or black and white? Wait, no, they're red
They're
and white.
red and black.
What?
red and black?
Oh,
They're
red and
red
black,
with black
but-
spots.
That's
Typically,
crazy.
yeah. Or sometimes
black
they can be
spots.
orange and black.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're red with black
That's
spots.
crazy.
Yeah,
I
and
thought they had
orange.
white
They have a
spots.
tiny. They have two white. They have like a tiny, small amounts of white
Oh,
around
okay.
their head and their.
There we go.
they call
There's
like,
literally
the
an
neck
emoji.
area.
Emoji. Oh, there it
Okay,
is.
but
Wow.
that actually does not include the white spots that
All right.
Which I'm
Anyway.
looking at
Sometimes
right
they do.
Anyways, where do we want to cast this identify spells? We've got two of them.
Yeah,
Let's
further
go
out
to
where we can take
now.
him.
Let's go to the house of the what's his name?
Yeah.
Oh,
Cyrus,
hell
is that
no.
what his name was? Why?
I'm not staying at that guy's house. Fuck that.
And where are we going?
I'd
Yeah,
rather
let's-
camp out in the woods.
Can we go camp outside that guy's house or something? Random spot to the woods it
Okay,
is.
yeah, you
All
guys
right,
just
then.
walk out of the town. You guys just leave the town
Into
on
the
horseback.
woods.
Renesmee remains on your shoulder. You guys lead Nami. You go into the countryside. You find an area behind some rocks, and you sit down and you identify these two items. And
I
Severus,
set up camp while he's doing that.
your identify tells you that these two items are non-magical.
Interesting.
Well,
your
I'll
identify
look at-
tells you that these two items are non-magical.
I'll look
But
at,
not magical.
Every time
But
you touch them, you do hear a voice in your head.
That's concerning.
I'm gonna cast Identify myself to see if there's any magic currently affecting me.
Severus,
As
I'm
not
touching one of them.
Interesting. I need to go check something. Anyways, continue.
Severus, I'm not really one for all the magic and stuff, but could you not just cast Detect Magic? Would that not be a much more expedited way of doing this?
Yeah, you're right. I'll do that. instead.
Oh, okay, alright, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
sorry,
I'm
I
not seeing the
wasn't- I
forest
wasn't-
for the trees.
Okay, but yeah,
Genuinely-
before you identify
genuinely was not
yourself,
sure.
you use Detect Magic. And the two things, the mace and the dagger, are non-magical.
Is there any other magical glows in the area that aren't usual?
Yeah, you can look down at yourself to see if there's like an illusion aura around you or something. And on your hands, there is a faint aura of abjuration.
Abjuration.
Abjuration. As for the, the things you're actually looking at, the dagger and the mace, neither of them have any magic on them at all, period. And your companions
As I'm
have...
still like holding the Detect Magic, I'll touch the thing. I'll look what happens.
When your hand gets within, like, basically 1 inch of the surface, the magical signature on it disappears.
So they have suppressed magical signatures. Is that's the thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's several spells that do that. Some of them are pretty low level
That's
as well.
They are. They are.
Yeah, there's a second level one.
What?
Yep.
What spell is that?
Arcanist's Magic Aura, which you would know because you actually have access to it as a arcane trickster.
Arcanist's Magic Aura? I've never heard of that spell in my life.
It's from Tasha's.
Nistel's Magical Aura.
Also
right.
that, yeah. There's also non-detection, both of which would apply with this thing.
Non-detection is what level?
Third
Third?
level.
Okay.
My.
How long does non-detection last?
Severus is in his mind palace staring at these two, this dagger and this mace.
If it's non-detection or the aura thing, either of them lasts for a maximum of 24 hours.
If they are cast normally,
And
yeah.
upcasting doesn't make them longer.
Correct. Permanency would make them last longer.
Permanency is a high-level spell,
It's
is
a
it
9th
not?
level spell.
Holy, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
just clarifying.
God, doesn't have that.
I think I'll just say for now, something's suppressing the magical aura of these. I think we'll wait to see if that's a temporary enchantment on them.
What?
The spells I know that can do that are temporary enchantments, and if they're not, then whatever we're dealing with here is
Sorry, I'm still
very.
not still not following. Are they magical
These
or
two
not?
They appear to be entirely non-magical, but that's impossible.
Isn't he just doing fraud then?
Well, but they clearly have a magical effect.
I mean, couldn't the magical effect be affecting you? Or like,
There seems to be a slight
or like,
bit of
Your
abjuration in
boot?
my hand.
well, okay, so I'm right. It isn't just affecting you instead of the weapon. Do you normally have abjuration of whatever it is in your hand?
I don't believe so. I
Correct.
guess I'll identify
Also,
my hand.
notably, it's a very faint signature.
I'll identify my hand.
Okay, yeah, Peach.
Oh, incredible.
Can I fly and then crawl onto Severus's hand?
Certainly.
Do I have a signature?
Oh, that's actually very smart.
Ooh.
As this little ladybug walks across your hand, you notice literally one of the weirdest things you've ever seen, Severus. Magic is not material. It's almost like energy, or it's not something that you can touch typically. But you watch this little ladybug walk through your hand, and you watch as the arcane signature sort of like gets pushed out of the way and then gloms onto the little ladybug. This is like it's like you're sticking your hand on ink and it's just getting everywhere, and that got onto your hands, and now it's onto the little ladybug.
I crawl up his arm.
Yeah, it leaves a little trail of abjuration magic behind it.
That's so weird. I'm identifying that.
Yeah, cool. You begin the process of identifying it. Maximus finishes making the fire. Granny 1,000-yard stares, and
I want to
Azrael...
land on the dagger, or on the dagger, or the mace, whichever is closest, as a ladybug.
Easy enough. And as the identify concludes, that abjuration is non-magical. That abjuration, which is clearly magic, is not magical.
Oh, of course, not
Of course, yeah, you get it.
Are we going into like layers, like multiple layers of?
No, it's like gaslighting. It's like, Maximus,
Yeah.
you are not a ginger. Huh? But no, you are not.
Yeah,
You
it's
are not a man
abjuration.
either.
He can see it because it's abjuration, but the type of magic it is non-magic, so it's non-magical, but it's there.
Okay.
Is there any
Minor-
explanation I can muster up with it for this?
Yeah, roll an Arcana check. I think this is actually pretty basic for an Arcane Trickster. I think you get this pretty easily.
The thing I'm thinking of is the Black Lotus thing.
Oh
That
yeah,
seems
that's
too
actually
high level.
unironically. I feel like this is like textbook arcane trickster. nonsense.
Absolutely. I think that you could probably guess
Whoa.
even what type of person Zeno is. But yeah, with the 26, this is just how certain types of non-detection, not just spells, which is what you were thinking of before, also oils. Because it's actually pretty easy for like 9th level, 10th level wizards to imbue oils with magical effects. Most commonly are like potions. Those are a type of, it's not really an oil, it's a liquid. And they cost a pretty penny, don't get me wrong, but if you can, make a profit on purchasing the oil and use it in a clever way, then you can make money. And it's a type of arcane oil, which probably is imbued with like the non-detection spell or something similar to that. And it's just smeared across the surface of these things.
Like the surface of the swords.
Yeah.
Oh!
Which is probably
Look-
why I'm like
look at-
tracking it.
Look at my hands. Severus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look over Abjuration
hand?
signature. Because you touch the mace.
What if you wash the crap?
It is unfortunately not physical. That's the weird thing. It has this like kind of physical property of like glomming onto stuff. So to remove it, you
Ooh,
probably just have to rub it against shit and like use towels and shit to like basically completely like polish it clean of all the shit.
You said it was
I'm
an oil.
washing
so I
the
just thought
dagger.
oil would- Okay.
What were you saying, Yogi?
Since you said it was an oil, I was assuming it was a physical thing that you could wipe off.
Yeah, you
Or
can
clean
wipe it
off.
off. It's just not fully physical. The best example of it, it's kind of like phase spiders, which are like those things that are like half in the material plane, half out of it. That's because the arcane works on both this plane and any other plane that you're looking at this object.
So if I
on.
take my index finger,
Yeah.
and I'll like look at the tip, it's like normal.
Yep.
I touch the dagger, I like wipe my tip along like the hilt or something.
Yeah.
I put it back, and it's abjuration on the
Yes.
fingertip. Okay. I guess I'm washing the dagger.
All right, you go over to the little stream beside your campsite out in the countryside, and you get in there. And luckily, you have detect magic because this takes a long fucking time. He probably like baked the oil on. You don't know what method of application he did because this isn't just like an oil that you're wiping off as it goes through the water instantly. This takes scrubbing and effort, and little what is it? Ladybug Nesme is like floating around you, like watching
I'll
as you
ask
scrub at this
Granny if she
dagger.
can
if I-
prestidigitation.
If I lick my hand, does it get on my tongue?
Yes,
Stop.
it would indeed
We
get
don't-
on your tongue.
Does it
What
taste
does
like
it
anything?
taste like?
It tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
It's not fully material.
But it's partly material.
It is partly material, so,
It's
so
level.
it tastes like your skin.
Oh, it's lame.
Oh,
I am immensely disappointed.
that's soberingly rude.
Magic is lame.
As you continue to stare at this, and layer after little layer of this oil is slowly taken off. It's the weirdest thing you've ever seen. It's like there's a light bulb and there was a cloth over it, and you're cutting little holes through the cloth, and slowly light is starting to spill out. So you're starting to get the arcane signatures on these weapons. These are actually, despite the fact that they are fraud, now that you can see the underlying signature.
Ooh, if I grab one of them and run it through the fire, does that get it off quicker?
No, that would just burn your hand.
No, not my hand. One of the
Oh
weapons.
yeah, it won't boil off the oil.
Okay.
But as slowly
Thought
the
it was
different magical signatures on the dagger start to come through, you see a programmed illusion spell, you see a magic mouth spell, you see basically like 5 different illusion spells on top of it, as well as an abjuration spell, which is not. It's just I'm not gonna say anymore. But yes, there's like 5 illusion spells and an abjuration spell all on this dagger.
And I guess I'll identify once I'm done. I'll identify once again.
Yeah. You identify the dagger,
Uh-oh.
and what you find on the dagger is illusory script, which is programmed to only react under certain circumstances because it was put on it through a glyph of warding. Because 99% of the time we talk about glyph of warding, it's explosive. In this case, it's a program thing where when you touch the item, the programmed illusion triggers. You hear a voice in your head. However, on certain spoken cues, the weapon will say a different response, and sometimes it'll even make a little like illusionary effect or text appear in the air beside the weapon. These are really like cleverly designed to make it seem like vaguely like a person, and yeah, it's not actually anything. It's just a normal weapon, like a mundane mace or whatever. Or in your case, a dagger that has been layered with different layers of illusion.
Oh, so we have him, right? This is
Yeah, it's not a
That's
self.
fraud.
like obviously fraud. Now that
Yep.
all of
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Very elaborate, but fraud.
Okay, now
He's very talented.
how would is this provable in a court of law?
Yeah,
is
of
there,
course,
like, a
identify
third
as
party that would
admissible
just
in court.
Identify it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, but okay. So yeah, we just need to go and arrest him now, right? We have all the
'Cause he's
evidence.
still
This is
here.
for everyone else. We have all the evidence we want, right?
Yeah, you might have like fucked
Do
off
we need to go to
because
the Department of Coin for
you
that?
got raided.
No, I think in this scenario we can just arrest him and then take him to the Department of Coin. I don't
Is that
think we need
right?
to-
I mean, at this point, yeah, like you have him. The only reason you
Dead
bring the
to
guy to the
rights.
Department of Coin, yeah, basically dead to rights, like because you're not actually arresting him and charging him. You're just holding him so that a Department of Coin person can be, apprised. Of the
And also, we're
situation.
suspecting he might flee the law.
Yeah, that.
But
that
now
He's
we
definitely
can-
capable of elaborate magic.
Now we
Yeah.
can just arrest him and
All right.
Yeah.
Let's
cart him
go.
off. To...
You guys go
Okay,
grab
let's
Father
go get.
Ixion
Let's
first.
no, yeah. Let's go get everyone else.
Let's go get
first.
Father Ixion.
Yeah, you guys head to the riverside, southern part of town along the river, and I know, we're in the last minutes, but I think we can finish this out. You guys head over to that shack.
Yeah, because he's gonna be fucking gone, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, of course he is.
You guys head over to that
Anyway,
shack.
sorry, Alex.
Outside, sitting on a porch, you see a about 50-year-old woman with white strands through her hair. She's sort of in a rocking chair, drinking on some sweet tea. Next to her is Father Ixion, who looks like he wants to fucking die. And then next to him is a scribe who is pestering him with questions. The mom is actually very chill. She is not a groupie or a fan. She's just like chilling, but her son is absolutely fucking obsessed. So she's just there sipping on her tea as Father Ixion is being bombarded with questions.
All right, Father. We got the evidence. We need to go arrest him.
Good.
You were,
And the scribe will
Let's
say,
go.
Father Ixion, could I be there to watch this momentous occasion? He looks
Sure.
at Father Ixion.
He's the one who gave us the lead, Severus.
Thank
But
you.
it might be too dangerous for him.
If you think
I'll
that's
stay
safe.
back. I'll stay as far back
He'll
as you
be
need me
fine.
to.
I don't. Do you think he's dangerous? What are the what
Well,
evidence do you have?
Most
He's
likely he's
used
dead by now. But
he's used layered. I'll pull out the dagger. Basically, on this, there's multiple layers of
yeah, we can.
tricky arc magic on here.
Every
it's
second
nothing
we sit here,
incredibly
he gets
complicated.
farther
Yeah,
away.
let's just go.
But yeah,
Yeah.
We-
let's just
we
say
have
it's
him.
the same
We'll-
level as Fireball.
We'll explain it once we get him, or
Okay.
confirm
But now
his
that now that out of character, I know that this kid is 19. Rixion is a little bit warmer to him.
You
He
thought a
likes to
40-year-old
do
man
this
was
stuff.
doing it the whole time. That's
Well,
very
the
funny.
last time a guy
is-
did
that is
the
true, yeah.
governor was doing
That's true.
that.
He was
so-
going at it a little bit, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys make your way back to the town square. You find the cart is still there. The cloth is still there. However, the little pop-up shop and containing the other weapons, the different, paintings and all that stuff, all that is gone.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, who knows? You get back tomorrow.
You do notice a note has been nailed to the front of the cart near where, like, a driver
Oh.
would get up in.
Yeah. What does it say?
I'll go and look. I won't touch it. I will just look at it.
Yeah,
Read
you
it.
look at the note. As you enter within 5 feet of its location, the letters sort of pulses and the illusory script appears in front of it, and it says,
Oh.
Judge Maximus, and his colleagues, it was a pleasure meeting you. I hope that we meet again, and next time you don't hurt my business. Signed, Uncle Zeno.
I
Well-
fucking hate this guy.
Are there any tracks to his cart? Or
No, the cart's
to-
still there.
Oh,
Damn magic.
He left the cart behind, knowing it was gonna slow him down too much.
I mean, yeah, all he needs is
Oh.
the oils, and he can pick up random items anywhere. Put
Yeah.
the oils
I
on.
I light a torch and is this cart near?
Because it's
no,
propped up
no.
against the house.
Okay, yeah.
Let's
never mind.
no, don't
I
burn this
won't
shit
do that
down.
then.
I
won't
want to
do
take
that
magic this whole thing for evidence.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, we can send out some letters telling, like, the entire Department of Magic, hey, this was fake, make sure not to work with this guy, inform
he's
the
a
Department of Coin
spellcaster.
what happened,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah, and you guys can check the interior of the cart. There are a couple Bob's odds and end here, sewing kit, nails, things for writing. So he did leave like a substantial amount of inventory behind, but the crucial things he managed to get out. Also, I think as you're looking in the back of this cart, Severus, one, this guy, Tullius, would fucking love him. This guy would be a great assassin. And secondly is that, that basilisk oil, when you first encountered him and he sold it as a panacea, you're like, that's fucking ridiculous, that's stupid. And this time, he talks about selling it a ton. The types of thing he applied to those daggers and those other weapons was a type of oil. And, it's just, maybe it's a coincidence that, like, the main thing he sells is also an oil, but I don't know, it makes you wonder, like, how do you even get, like, oil of non-detection? Because that's not easy to get. And then he's also selling, but it just makes you wonder where the fuck he gets all this stuff.
Maybe he
Craft
makes
this
it
type
on
of
his own.
stuff.
Oil
I
of
thought it was
non-detection
gonna
is
say how
not
hard it is
something
to
you
make.
can make. That's like a 9th level wizard thing. On the
Yeah.
free open
Oh.
market, that shit costs a small fortune.
Okay.
So
Huh.
yeah, who knows?
Maybe
So
he
we're
does
getting
have
this
a
guy into
contact in
dead
the
slavery, and
department.
then we're buying him and torturing for a secret.
Jesus Christ.
Let's make this one real grim.
Well, with that wonderful Mithdosian statement,
Classic,
dude. With that wonderful Mithdosian statement, I think this is actually a perfect place to end it. You've prevented him from scamming these people. You took 2 of the items, so he won't be able to use them anymore. At least hundreds of gold lost in this one little, encounter with the law. And of course, Father Rixion gotta have a fanboy, Hog. With that,
Maybe you could get him to follow
Fan,
us around
not
the
fan.
entire rest of the time.
yeah, he'll end up becoming a bard.
Sure,
He'll
he'll
get
survive.
yeah.
I'm sure he'll survive more than one in combat encounter. I'm sure.
Is that
It was
is
a
that
good
how bards are?
session.
Is that can you create a bard that way?
Bards are made through study, just like wizards, so theoretically, yes.
Okay. Oh shit! That'd be fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, they have to go to college. With that, I think we're good for next week. We'll figure it out. Who knows? The schedule is difficult.
Yeah.
But I will see you guys then.
Oh yeah, should be good.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
But...
Bye.
Bye.